Okay, bear with me, guys. I hope you can hear me. Got a little bit of a tight quarters, but I rearranged some stuff so I can utilize other parts of the RV. So, I am going to do Charlotte today. I've solved a lot of my mysteries about 1994, and this is one of the races Dad had a car in, and they did pretty well off the bat. I haven't really checked to see about, sorry about that. I gotta adjust everything new. How you doing? How you doing? Hi, y'all. Let me see if this works. I got my little stool. Oops, gotta have my mouse. Gotta have my mouse. Gotta have my... Phew. Anyway, I've been spending like a lot of time straightening out this whole corner so I can have my desk here and I can sit and I can talk to y'all. Anyway, I'm going to start Charlotte, and because I just got home, I'm going to start it, and I got to dip out a minute and make sure I got all my drinks and everything going good. And once the stream's running, and then I'll be back to chat. But here we are at Charlotte. This is where I believe this season is what got Joe his front row Joe name, because he was getting poles a lot, or P2 a lot. Where am I tangled? All right. Around that. All this new setup. Oop, bang. Anyway. Got my headphones better now. And if I put this up like that, you can hear me talk. How's that? I think it's good. Like I said, let's start Charlotte. Now, it's a raw satellite feed, so it's got all kinds of goofy things, which I like. I like all the little chat that goes on behind the scenes that you hear them doing in the media centers. Let's go to Charlotte.
2.5. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Right now, he is just waiting for his cue. He's talking and stuff to them all. So he's just practicing his voice and making sure his mic's good for the sound. People.
Okay.
All that good stuff. God, it's hot in Florida. I will tell you what, it is hot. Whew. So anyway, this is Charlotte, 1994, Busch Grand National. My father was with the 87, which is Joe Nemechek, and he, to be honest, was...
Gordon's starting 5th tomorrow. We're going to get a fresh kit.
Running only 9 races this season. He was already moved on to the Winston Cup side with the Meineke 41. Dad was there a little while, but he chose to go back to Joe's Busch shop and at least help them run a few races. Now, it's been a season of attrition for almost everybody. Lots of blown motors. This is the last year they're in the V6 Buick. The Buick V6 engines were little hand grenades. They twisted them so hard. Like, they'll tell you about it, that this is like the last season. The following year, they'll go with Busch into the 8-cylinder small blocks.
Supposed to stick with the plan that we originally
whatever, you know, Ford or Chevy or whatever.
Thank you.
So anyway, I hope you enjoy this. I'm taking a little bit of notes. I got my headphones, got my energy drink, got my phone. I'm gonna jump out here in a minute and share my
I believe Ernie's
thing on Facebook.
I mean, I hadn't checked on it. All I said is he's been here, he's standing.
And probably Twitter. Twitter's new. I got rid of my old Twitter. I had too much junk coming in, so anyway, that's normal. It's black screen, because I previewed a little bit, but I don't know how he finished. I could look at the notes. Oopsie. Okay, now here we go.
Welcome to Charlotte Motor Speedway.
All
Close
right.
to 100,000 fans on.
And they're going to
enjoy
interview
the NASCAR
Joe.
Busch Grand National.
And Martha Nemechek is throwing the green flag.
300 today. Ken Squire talked a moment ago about changes. The biggest change here at Charlotte, after discussing it for a long time, the speedway surface has been completely redone. There's brand new asphalt all the way around this mile-and-a-half super speed.
Sharing it out real quick.
The mix for everybody here this week.
Just give me a second.
Excitement. 13 of these Busch Grand National drivers crashed in practice and qualifying leading up to today's event, and it puts into question just exactly what we're going to see here in the next couple of minutes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. Welcome to the Allison Zook Alliance Pitt Communication Center today on TBS Sports. It's great to have you along. More than $400,000 on the line.
Wow, my volume's good on that too, even after all the moving around.
Point battle is at stake here as
So anyway,
and a whole long
no more sitting on my bed like a lazy bum, which I like watch parties on my bed like lazy bum.
Special qualifying race yesterday to get in the show here.
Time to grow up.
It was many drivers.
Wow, I need to plug in my phone too.
A couple of the drivers who've done very well this week so far are standing by with Randy Pemberton on pit road.
Well, it's no surprise.
I'm a new baby.
It's Mark Martin in his Winn-Dixie Ford. He has led every race he's entered in.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what the degrees are here in Florida, but it's like way too much degrees.
Outside of row one,
way too much. It's like I just ran to the grocery store real quick and I was tripping. So there's Joe's car. My dad is crew chief on at this particular point. There's John and Joe.
Oh, we've got some rookies in the back of the field with some
Dick Bergeron.
equipment, Randy. Here's Johnny Benson, and he won the most recent race in this series, but unfortunately,
Let me share
that he won the event with. Why? It's in the
my
back of the truck. It's
stream.
all crashed, bent it all up in qualifying. Starting right in front of him is a two-time winner, Dennis Setzer, and his car is all bent up, but he's going to try to run it anyway. Dennis, why are these
Oh,
cars
that's in
getting
my
bent up?
face. Nice.
Well, it's kind of a funny
How's
deal
that?
here. The cars are so fast, and everybody's trying to make the last
Better.
adjustments before qualifying.
That'll
to get
work.
A little bit of speed, but you know, the Alliance Tractor Trailer Training Centers team, they done a great job working on this thing all day yesterday. I think we got a good piece for this race.
It was really wrecked a little while ago, for sure.
Let's
And
see.
part of the problem is the season is ending. They're all driving like there's no tomorrow.
Old
Here's
people
the man
gotta
who will
think how to
call
do
today's
this
race,
stuff.
Ken Squire.
Well, thank you, Richard. 45 cars are down here ready to go. That looks like a whopping field, but the last time we were here, it was rapidly reduced. 13 blown engines, 10 cars in the wall, and Darrell Waltrip, a former winner of this race. We expect those kind of marks again today?
Oh, I think so, Ken. The thing that's so confusing to these drivers is weather conditions. When the sun is in and it's overcast like it is right now,
I don't like that my thing doesn't share with my title, and I don't know how to do that properly.
and the guys can almost run the track wide open. When the clouds go away and the sun comes out, we're right back to the same old Charlotte we've seen here for the last 20 years. Turns 3 and 4 become like an ice skating rink, and the only thing that'll hold them in the field then is the big old concrete wall, and they're going to find that real frequently if that sun pops out.
Well, there's still a bit of a dip down here in turn 3, and there's some...
So it's 1994.
It ought to get real interesting when they drop the green shortly on our broadcast of this 300.
Okay.
Alrighty. That's done.
Ladies and gentlemen, proud to introduce someone we've been missing in this sport for a few weeks. Ernie Irvin standing by. His car is on the grid today. Ernie, first question. You look good. How are you feeling?
Feeling really good. You know, 2 weeks ago I didn't really think I'd be feeling this good, but you know, everything's really shaping up, and sure like to be here racing.
It's the first race that you've
right,
been
phone.
to. Of course, your
Don't be
car
dumb.
starting third today.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, Todd's really done a good job with us, and you know, he qualified third, and I'm really running good in practice. So just got done having a few words with him, and you know, told him they paid for the last lap, so I'm interested.
How many people have race car drivers
Ernie,
on there?
we,
Well,
as
people
well as
on
all
their
the fans
phone.
across the country and around the world, glad to see you
I
back.
I
have
tell you,
Brian
a lot of the
Priest.
prayers and everything were answered, and let me be here today.
Enjoy the race
Anyway.
today.
Thanks.
Okay. We have an exclamation point on the weather. That's nice. 88 and sunny in Flagler Beach. Which blows, but we have an exclamation point, so we got a weather warning. Severe weather alert, heat advisory. Yeah, no kidding. No biggie. Stay in the house. I've been shopping and I'm in the house for the rest of the day. For the rest of the day. I hope you enjoy Charlotte. Like I said, I just got home, so I just gotta run around, make sure everybody's all set, including myself. And I'll be right back. Oh, this might have commercials. No, not sure. No, this doesn't have commercials. It's a raw feed. The one I was watching from the Glen, maybe? So anyway, I shall be right back. BRB.
Back with you at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we're ready to take a look at the Texaco Haviland starting grid for this Busch Grand National 300-mile race. The All-Pro bumper-to-bumper event has Mark Martin on the pole with a new record. Alongside is Joe Nemechek and his Chevrolet. In row 2, there's Todd Bodine in the Ernie Irvan car. And beside him comes Tracy Leslie. In row 3 for this afternoon's action, Bobby Hillen, great qualifying effort. And Herbie Sadler from Virginia. In row 4, it's the current point leader, David Green, and Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin. In row 5, winner in May, Phil Parsons, and Jason Keller, outstanding qualifying run. In row 6 today, Tim Bender, the former snowmobile world champion, and Dale Jarrett. As to the rest of the field this afternoon, goes like this. In row 7, it's Bobby Labonte and Larry Pearson, twice national champion, Chad Little and Terry Labonte in row 8. Going to row 9, there's Kenny Wallace and Michael Waltrip, a former winner here in Charlotte, GN. Derek Cope and Dale Earnhardt. There in row 10. Row 11 today is Stevie Reeves from Indiana, Elton Sawyer on the inside. Row 12, Gant and Marlin. In row 13 will be Stanton Barrett back since that time he was in an incident here in May, and Dave Resendez, Jim Bound and Joe Bessie from Scarborough, Maine in row 14. Row 15 today is Doug Heveron and Rodney Combs. Row 16 is Ricky Craven, currently number 2 in points, and Dennis Setzer. For row 17, Bobby Dotter from Chicago was there. Johnny Benson alongside. Roy Payne and Ken Schrader make up row 18. Row 19, Jimmy Hensley and Robert Presley. Tim Fedowa and Jeff Green are back there in row 20. The 21st row is Dirk Stevens and David Bonnet made the field. Row 22, Kevin LePage from Shelburne, Vermont, and Ed Berry are there. And rounding out the field, provisional starter Steve Grissom, defending Grand National champion. Gets himself all the way in the back end of this field as they get ready to go, DW.
Yeah, Grissom had to take a provisional in today's race. He had to take a provisional in tomorrow's race, too. So he's improvising, I guess you could say, to get into these races this weekend.
Let's take a look at this MasterCard race analysis. There you see the posted awards. That's a big field of cars. They had a big field like this at Loudon, 45 strong. That 141-mile-an-hour record, Sam Ard, back when you were doing so well in this, about 83.
Oh yeah, that was the era.
And we're going to take a moment right now and go down to the garage area for a very special interview. Standing by is Randy Pemberton with somebody you want to meet.
Ladies and gentlemen, proud to introduce someone we've been missing in this sport for a few weeks. Ernie Irvan standing by. His car is on the grid today. Ernie, first question. You look good. How are you feeling?
Feeling really good. You know, 2 weeks ago I didn't really think I'd be feeling this good, but you know, everything's really shaping up, and sure like to be here racing.
Yeah, it's the first race that you've been to. Of course, your car's starting third today.
Yeah, I tell you, you know, Todd's really done a good job with us, and you know, he qualified third, and really running good in practice. So just got done having a few words with him, and you know, told him that they paid for the last lap. So I'm interested in seeing how he'll do.
Ernie, we as well as all the fans across the country and around the world, glad to see you back.
Well, I tell you, you know, a lot of the prayers and everything were answered, and let me be here today.
Enjoy the race today.
Thanks.
And we hope you folks at home will enjoy the race today. This is the one that has that intermission at the midway. Lines them all back up for the second half. It's always a thriller, always spectacular when you see Grand National at Charlotte. one tough Ted.
That's right. 1-800-Teddy Bear. Second time by. Cars are at pit road speed.
Which
Check
is,
your
what's
tack.
today? What's pit road speed today?
55. Pace car runs 60 because of the dog leg. Race cars run 55.
So they don't beat up Elmo.
Alrighty, I'm back. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
We getting ready to go.
All switches up.
That noise is my stool.
Buff those tires around a little
My
bit.
stool is fluffing when I sit on
Much time.
Check your gauges.
it. This curtain is a
Here we
little
are right here.
obnoxious.
Good luck and Godspeed.
Man, oh man, it's just hot today.
That'll be worth watching.
My fan blowing right on me.
He's out there floating.
The 72 car came up from the back. I don't know what he's doing. He's in a spot, but he must have had a problem. Steering wheel adjustment.
Thank you.
Sorry, I don't wear makeup much. I can.
Defending champion and pole sitter Mark Martin on board camera, 176.696 to break Bobby Dodder's mark of 174. And here's Scarborough, Maine's Joe Vesey. And the Duraloo, car number 97, getting ready to go to work. Pace car is coming in. And Derek Cope will carry a camera in the Allison Zook Alliance car as we come down for that green flag, and we're underway. Martin and Nemechek bring them to the line. Welcome to TBS live coverage of the All-Pro.
I'm gonna hang myself.
Well, Ken, we had just a little rain here just before the start of the race, but it was very light, and I don't think it'll have any effect on the racetrack.
See, like I said, Martha.
Clean start.
Martha threw the green.
Who had qualified so well side by side from
And that's his blue car in the front. My dad built that car.
the rear on that start.
Hi, Stelly.
The first time.
Well, they look good, Ken. They're two abreast back through the field just about like they started, and it's a good clean start, like I said. And
What you woofing?
you might as well get all the feel of these V6 engines.
What's up?
Because next year you won't hear
You
them.
gonna go potty?
They're going to VH next year, and we won't have to listen to these loud old V6s anymore.
Kind of shrill, aren't they?
Oh,
You gonna go potty?
they really are loud.
Well, Dr. Dick Bergeron was remarking
You go puppy?
this battle further.
Yeah.
It was McLaughlin, 5th place going.
It's hot. You gotta go fast.
Number 99. We may see a lot of engines.
I'll be right back. I walked the puppy and I
Six-cylinder series. And
previewed this. Something will happen soon.
work into the
Caution-wise. Sticking to the Ford seat.
They take the V6 Buick takes a crankshaft about every 2 or 3 races, and they are high maintenance. But I'm sure
Be
guys
right back. I'll take
milk all
Stella
they
up.
can for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Take a look at Herbie Sadler down on the bottom as he continues to fight his way through. McLaughlin closing right up in there.
Boy, I tell you, Ken, this is nerve-wracking racing right here. If anything happens here in the front of these cars that are running 3rd, 4th, and on back, we're lined up too wide right here. This is really, really close racing. I hope everything stays close and tight.
At 28 car, Todd Bodine right in there as they stay 2 abreast all the way around. Take a look at this pack, the second pack. The 2 leaders have busted away out there. Martin and Nemechek have drawn away by 20-25 car. This is for second spot, and it's about a 30-car shootout for it right
I don't
now.
think I've never seen racing like this at Charlotte. This is more like Daytona and Talladega, and the cars are sticking so well, this new surface, and the tires are great. And the guys, I know it looks bad, but I'm sure they're having a lot of fun. Oh, we got a blown engine on Earnhardt.
Whoa. Trying to get out from behind Labonte. That venting car around as Earnhardt expires early. And remember, he blew up big time yesterday, too. Well, having much fun here this week.
I know Earnhardt's not on a tight budget, but he might be trying to get all out of those V6s he can for next year.
2 2/10 the difference between Nemechek and now Martin in second. Back to the third place man, who now becomes Todd Bodine. He moves around Hermie Sadler. 5 laps are complete. And the first 100 to be run here this afternoon.
Well, this is just about the point, Ken, when the tires are starting to kind of neutral up and the cars are freeing up a little bit. And this is when you can see some excitement if we're not careful here.
All this double file running, and triple is allowing the 2 leaders, Nemechek and Martin, to draw away. The advantage continues to grow.
Well, they are right where every race driver would like to be. Way out in front of this Marley back here and behind them that it's just got disaster written all over it.
They had the tarps on cars 15 minutes before the race.
She went very fast.
When you come down to that line here.
It was.
Think about it, but again, we've got so much grip here on this new surface that it's not really hurting it at all. I mean,
She went fast because it was so hot outside. She don't like it either.
There you see the 2.
And it looks like it's going to rain. Thank goodness.
7, 3 4/10 of a second, Darrell, from that second to third.
Good job, Stella.
Unlike the past year where maybe drafting wasn't a big factor, we're running 180 miles an hour down these straightaways.
In the wall.
Uh-oh. Oh, my God. Ernie just said don't wreck.
Right in there. And he's got
Be there for the money lap. But it wasn't his fault.
Goodness,
This is on.
the field before
Now the kitty's in. I don't know if you can see her. You probably can see her tail.
4.
everybody did a great job getting around that race car.
Are you hungry?
That's where a spotter really was.
Keep all their goods here.
Take a look at this. That's Bobby Hillen in the 99.
Yeah, I think Bobby Hillen.
How fast?
I don't believe that Bobby really got into Todd. I believe that Todd's car just, Bobby took
One thing I know since this new setup, sitting on the stool,
And they're off 2.
well off the 2.
is not cool.
180 on the straight.
Sticky.
He's doing about 165 or 70 off that corner.
Working the 10th lap right now. The 2 leaders
So I'm gonna get a blanket or something to throw.
getting some service for car number 28 is Todd Bodine.
Girls, they's on.
Dale Earnhardt.
Well, we're used to seeing you run real fast, but usually not run this short. What happened to it? Blow it?
Yeah, it's the second engine we broke this week. Really not good for us. We try to give Jim Goodrich a good day's work for pay, and we've not done that lately. So we're going to have to definitely research our program before we go to Rockingham and see if we can't come up with some better engine program.
Well, the V8s that they'll run next year should be more reliable than these V6s.
Well, there's another car smoking here, the 92.
It still makes a noise when I sit.
Big ball of smoke coming out of turn 4 here. We'll have to keep an eye on him.
Earnhardt.
This is Charlotte,
Retire.
1994.
10 laps was completed.
My dad's with the 87 car. He had built that. This is his 4th year with the team.
Drafting a little bit ago, Ken, and the reason that these 2 front cars are able to pull away the way they have been is because there's such a race going on back in the field here. These guys are running 2 and 3 wide, and they're slowing themselves down, and the 2 front guys are just pulling away just by several hundredths a lap.
Larry Pearson, who had been running in night, showing some smoke. Another retiree about to come in. We've completed 11 under green thus far, folks.
Killing me out there. These guys
500 tomorrow.
got me running. Joe is leading still at lap 11 of 200 at Charlotte. They really only had one sponsor. It was Cintas, and they were kind of race by race, and they only raced, like I said, 9 races because they were part-time in the Busch side, and the Cup side was not through Joe's team. It was with Larry Hedrick, and that was with the 41 black and yellow Meineke car, if you remember that.
Talk to him all the time, you get lost, and you'd want to look over her shoulder to see, where the cars were, and she'd go,
She wants you to know.
thank you very much,
yeah.
It's a big help. Thank you. You'll kill me when to
Look how much shock travel there is in Mark's rear, left rear. That's kind of interesting. Where at Charlotte, that you tend to run really loose. Oh, and that's the new pavement, brand new pavement in 1994. So if you're wondering when they did that, that was when. And it was after the Winston. This is the second Charlotte race. Hello, hello. Let me. How you doing? You all right today? It's good to see you. I was sleeping when you were.
15 laps complete. As
You guys were all on earlier today.
away from the field, building up a tremendous advantage. There you see them. Down
But I did put the channel on
3 and 4.
when I woke up and saw VR on my list.
Take a look at that interval. Was the Ernie Irvin car, Todd Bodine. He's back out, so he's gone a couple laps down. Remember that guy we were talking about?
You doing okay today?
Defending national champion Steve Grissom. What a run he's making. Take a look at that number 31.
It is so warm in Florida. It says 88, but I know they gotta be lying. I got home, I was like drenched. I had already had a shower. I dressed in lightweight clothes.
It's going to be a big factor.
And
That's becoming pretty obvious too.
I come home and I was just
Kenny Wallace.
pouring sweat.
He's challenging for 17th. He's taking short.
And I got an ice pack and I put it over my neck and on my arms. Right now I got it hung over my extra fan. I'm gonna get AC, but it's struggling.
Good job done.
Let's take a look at the Napa rundown. You see them after 15 laps of the 200 complete. Remember, we have a midway break, which is
And that's another reason it's so hard to wear like eye makeup or anything in Florida. It just
road. We'll tell you
bleeds all over you like slime, like colored slime.
side as he tries to keep himself
So
in contention.
I'm not here to.
Title currently lying third. That's the yellow and black number 23.
I don't know.
Last time he was on this track, he was the victim of a crash going to turn number 1.
Past
Broke a leg
the give a shit.
in the Allison zip code.
That dentine is not ours. That is the following year, and that's Bobby Labonte in that. Because Bobby was running a full season, Dentine went with him as a sponsor. Joe Nemechek did not run a full season.
That's Red Farmer.
He only ran 9 Busch races, and my dad was involved in those. I don't know if he was at Bristol for the win, but I know he built the car. Whoa,
Turn number 4.
Schrader.
Car snags the wall. That's Schrader. And he brings out the yellow. First caution of the day at lap 19. The AC Delco car of
Because when I saw the crew, I wasn't sure if it was my dad, but like all these other races, they say they talked to Vic Kangas or whatever. So then I knew
back end of that car sandwiched.
that they were.
Ken Schrader.
Ken, there's so many.
And he got his front row Joe name from this
The track
season as well,
What will the cars be able to do? And
because he always qualified well.
kind of stretching the envelope just a little bit.
But I am.
The back end came out from under that car.
I'm watching the car again, talking at the
He
same
got it
time.
up
It's
into the
awful.
wall, and of course it did really significant damage. He's really lucky right here. The wheels are turned to the left, and the car
But
just.
yeah, he built all the Busch cars. Well,
front of oncoming
I know they got the chassis from a chassis shop, but he did all the
spotters again. I
components. I know he had an A-frame jig, which was in one of the episodes, I think in '93, which was extremely interesting to me because that's something I didn't know.
Martin in second and McLaughlin.
And this is 1994. I was still living in Florida. I went to Florida from June or July, like I think the 1st of July, like
Jim. Okay, I'm here, Jim.
I think it was right after my son's birthday or something like that. So it's end of June. Went to Florida for 10 months, and I moved to Charlotte, Mooresville, North Carolina, at 95 in April.
Do you want us to try to bring Schrader into the piece?
And then I was working in the North Carolina Auto Racing Hall of Fame I was a volunteer, which that was one of the coolest things because having an art degree, my reason I got an art degree was I wanted to work in museums,
Try to get Kenny Schrader.
but I never did. The only thing I've done art-wise is paint and
All right, so I'll reset us over a wide shot.
worked as a tile designer in a kitchen.
Mentioned the Advanced Auto Parts pits done quickly.
Kitchen design, I mean. Kitchen and bath, like whole house plans, I should say.
The Advanced Auto Parts.
I would pick all the tile
Advance will make it
with the owners before the house was built and all that.
Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Designed the tile on the backsplashes and the granite and all that. And I also know how to install it because I've done that myself too. But not for the work. I did it for my own house. I installed a hearth in front of the fireplace in one place I lived and did the whole kitchen counter in granite tile. And did the whole wall in like sea glass and stuff. It was pretty cool. I got pictures. Slate and sea glass. I like natural materials like stone. I hope someday if I can find some land to put this RV on, I can make it be somewhere permanent and build a house, little house beside it or something, or attach it even.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the All-Pro.
And I would totally
the NASCAR Busch Grand National
do
live
travertine and everything once we didn't have to tow on the road.
Period of the afternoon.
I would totally
About 20 laps of racing.
I love natural
Turns 3 and 4,
surfaces.
bringing out the yellow and
To have things like this and this makes me cringy.
They're set to go for the next green
But
flag period.
That's how they designed them. This is a Tuscan model.
We'll be watching all the pit work that's done here today, and at the end of the day, we'll award the Advanced Auto Parts Pits Done Quickly Award to the team exhibiting the most teamwork on our broadcast this afternoon on TBS Sports. At the end of the broadcast, the winner will receive.
I was trying to
team's name
figure out if I was at this race or not.
and from TBS Sports. Dick Bergman standing by now in the garage area. Well,
Trying to remember
trouble. Todd
if I
And Todd Bodine has run sportsman cars
ever
here, Busch cars,
traveled
Cup. He
to
hasn't
the
won
track.
any of them, but thought today.
because I was in Florida.
What happened?
I
Well, you know,
Might have
the
gone
Ford was a little loose to start with, and we
to
were
the
trying to
Daytona
buy time
race.
and get it fixed
Maybe.
for the end of the race. And I was just letting everybody
you
go.
see my
I'm not
kitty
gonna
cat?
race
She's
hard
over
the first
here.
few laps, no sense in it, and letting everybody
Probably
go.
not.
And I let Bobby Hillen go under me, and you know, he didn't realize I was still on the outside of him coming off a 2, and he just pinched me in the wall. You know, I got on the brakes and tried to get out of the hole, but it was just too late, and ended up getting in the wall. It's a shame, you know. I wanted to run good for Ernie, and these guys they work hard, and it's just a real shame.
They wanted it for Ernie for sure. Randy Pemberton.
Well, there's been a couple of guys on pit road. Johnny Benson Jr. on pit road right now. They're working inside the car, and his car gave him a dash.
Oh, Steve Bird was the crew chief for Johnny Benson that year.
Valve cover loose on that car. They've tightened it down. They've retaped the hood.
That's that Staff America kind of beside
down.
them.
Bobby Dotter changed right side tires under that caution. Dennis Setzer, the rookie leader, he changed a little air pressure in the left rear and took a little tape off the front of the grill. He was running a little hot, I guess.
Okay, we're getting set on a restart here as they'll come around.
The pace car is like my car was, except that must be a 94 because it's 1994. But I had a 95 Z28 white convertible like that. In fact, they've used it for some pre-race stuff
Qualifying
back in 96.
cars going to run in the race.
And up to 17 from 4.
And my dad's car is still in the lead.
Down for a start with Nemechek on those Hoosiers in front. Then Mark Martin.
Oh, we had him on Hoosiers. Well, we have a lot of experience with Hoosiers
Hoosiers
in New England.
as they take green.
The M&H's were on the
Caution for everybody, Ken, because they
on the modifieds, but the Hoosiers were on all the late models and everything.
and I think the drivers will be much more comfortable.
I like the M&H's better. They had a taller, higher,
For you to come in and get that window
stiffer sidewall,
itself back out there.
and they acted almost like a spring.
For third,
You could
hangs on the
you could do a lot with them.
modified champion.
And then they went to a Hoosier Tire at Monadnock one year, and I remember halfway through the season leading the points.
Then put the spur
My ex got all befuddled and
in that event.
Boy, our point.
said, "We're not racing here anymore," and he went to Claremont.
I know he's holding his breath right now. Here you
Trying to figure out what year that was.
are. You know, he just wants to get himself.
My guess is it's gotta be
Derek Cope is right in the middle.
88, 89.
Avoid this kind of racing. You know, you would probably.
I've been racing a long time.
Whatever, but
We had our own team for 10 years, a late model street.
On Sadler.
Similar to probably these days would be a limited. Although we could do a lot with the motor.
Blue car on the inside there going into turn one, Ken. He was 3
I
wide.
had a,
Well, that's Grissom,
if
and
I'm not mistaken,
I tell you that car is really
a
fast.
frame snout.
In front. Take a look at this lead battle on board.
Yeah, late model.
Martin. He's cutting down to the inside up there. In that turn 3 over those bumps, and he's making a bid as they come down across the tri-oval. You're riding with Mark Martin up to about 185 mile an hour here.
I remember the street stock. One was a Camaro, so it obviously had a Camaro snout, and those had the leaf springs in the rear, and we hammered them
Mark sees it.
on an anvil
Good shape tire-wise.
so that you can make them almost flat and put
Surprise me if you check
the
right.
tension
With
on your mounts. So the way it was bent, it was
in which he's
doing the most work
Get in front.
on the mounts, whatever.
I tell him all the time, Mark, you got a camera in the car. Could you make it look a little
Instead of being like a spring, they were more bent like this, and almost like a
like he's on a little Sunday ride here?
maybe a toboggan, not a hat, like Southerners call it toboggan,
Light on that
but
camera. Folks
a
like
sled.
when the
Like
light comes
it
on,
would,
you know
it
you
would
can
bend on the tips, so the mounting tips. You could put tension, you can move them forward, back, that kind of thing.
look at McLaughlin moving.
I don't know if that's stock. Only strictly stocks was strictly stock.
Right now they've closed up. McLaughlin making a great run in
For
on.
a simple car, it
McLaughlin has done an
It-
incredible job of getting
was
comfortable.
painted blue and black for Bell South. They might have.
Take a look at Grissom.
That was back before they did wraps. They had to paint the cars, so they'd use the same paint
Continues by Grissom, and it's
for
9.
different things. Centos, like I said, was a.
There. Well, that car is handling
It was always a
lot of straightaway speed, and I don't
secondary sponsor
qualify, but he's
to the Dentine. Oh, that's not good.
That's Bender, Tim Bender.
God almighty, that car does nothing but circles, no matter who drives it.
In the wall, and
It's
another
not
car
over.
gets caught, and
It's
this
not
one
over.
is not over. Trying to get them woed, and that's when they get them collected.
boy, that was a hard impact by several cars, Ken. Hard impact.
That doesn't.
Tim Bender's car breaking loose.
That's the 75 car. That's the 15 car.
Doug Heveron's in it.
Doug Hevron is. Oh, that's a 36. Sorry.
Just looking for numbers.
I thought it was the 35.
Bender, where it all
My
started.
bad.
He's coming out. Dirk Stevens for sure is in it.
The new pavement, they said, is a wicked problem. They
Car. There's
broke a lot of cars in practice.
frame.
Yeah, that's Bonnet's car. That's my old car, by the way.
David's car's your old car.
Yeah, I sold that to that group of people, and they
I wonder if
and Jake Elder's the crew chief on it. So I know Jake's going to be.
I wonder if it's gonna storm. I'm gonna ask my son to look at the rate. Well, he's busy
40
doing
lap
something.
Ponzi
I'll
yesterday,
ask him
folks.
after.
Let's take a look again.
The back end just comes around right there. That's what happens. So many guys in that 3 and 4 area, and when it does, and the cars are running so close together, there's just no. You just can't. Everybody can't miss him. There's a lucky guy or two. There goes the 15 car.
Dirk Stevens.
Dirk Stevens is okay. Oh, not now. He was okay until that.
And David Bonnet. Just hard for everybody to get through.
Another look at the end of this fracas. This happened at lap 29, folks.
See, that car's turned just, I mean, the whole racetrack, for all practical purposes, is blocked by one race car. Some people are able to get through. Right here, the 15.
That's the bad news right there. Oh man.
That wouldn't have been quite as bad an accident if he could have kept that car on the bottom of the racetrack, but it went right up in front of those oncoming cars.
Took David Bonnet
Tracy Leslie.
front end. Heveron's
well.
car crashed as well. The car with the green numbers, and David Bonnet's okay. He's out of his car and walking about. Tim Bender out of his automobile as he was riding on the outside of Harry Gant when it all began.
So Mark got us.
31 laps complete. Back in a moment.
Okay.
This is going to be a shorter than normal stream, but I was watching this through the middle of the night. I sometimes am up
Squeezed in between the
at 3 a.m.
tail end and did a great job of getting through that.
and I I noticed how it was so clear and stuff for 94. So plus we're on the front row.
Can you get a shot of the spotters, Jim?
Say how important they are and what they do in a situation like that.
Golly. I don't know that I would be good at spotting because of the scoring background, but just being in those booths, like for the scoring and stuff, you have height issues. That'll kind of tug at you a little bit. I was okay in most places scoring, except for having to walk down Bristol. Oh my God, like straight down. I'm the same way in arenas. I get, like, my knees turn like stiff, like I can't explain it. It feels like someone's squeezing my knees.
That much
And it, like,
brown area in the,
it's an awful feeling to be afraid of heights.
there's not much rubber there.
It's almost to the pass out phase. But I love roller coasters and stuff. I like going fast. Fastest I've ever been.
Back with you live as they complete
Not
lap 33.
A recommendation, don't do this at home.
Grand
It
National.
was 156 miles an hour on the back of an R1, Suzuki
Outside of number 7
Suzuki
Dan.
R1.
Tim Bender getting loose.
Yeah.
Just gets the back end out. He was trying to run on the outside of Harry.
Up the highway from
Off the car, but
up I-77
here comes oncoming traffic.
in Statesville.
Here comes the 15 car. He probably got hit from the rear.
And unfortunately, my sweet friend, I was the passenger on the back. I said, how fast were we going? He said 155. All I could do was laugh. But
We got a major.
unfortunately, he got killed on not that motorcycle, but a different
I
one.
mentioned this
He just
a couple of times.
could never slow down.
These are the guys that are in direct communication with the drivers of the cars. When they see a car like
He was like my best friend. Taught me how to play billiards pretty good.
and they tell him, go high.
Played
go
APA
low,
with
tracks blocked,
with
the
him.
car's going here,
His
the
name
car's
was
going there.
David.
And they try to lead their driver.
His
through
father
it
owned a
like that.
pool hall. He made me custom made my stick. I still have my stick.
But in that
No
case,
matter how much I've traveled around, I've kept my pool cue.
but that's a great safety aspect that we have for us right now.
But yeah, I
Our spotter
have that little Rage. It's called a Rage.
Smoke is, what it is, where oil is, where wreck.
Cue stick with the double dice.
Car is saying.
It's red.
They really are in direct communication constantly.
I was never real good,
Should
but I played APA for a couple years.
closed at this time, and that's why.
I've been all over, like Hickory and
Top of pit road.
Randolph's and Hickory and
Car of David Bonnet after
Denver,
in this very bad
and
crash. He's fine. 34 laps are
Sheriff's
complete.
Ford, somewhere up in there. I even think I played
Budweiser asks, who won?
I played at several places
1991 at Richmond
in
Raceway.
Hickory, some small places and some large.
Early lead.
So I've been,
Allison and
like, I wouldn't know them unless I went there.
for the lead. Harry Gantz, 33, charged through the pack for the 13th place.
But I was the
Car number 4, and Alan
low ball. I was a 4, and anytime the other team had a 7, they would put me against them because I could
We return.
at least play my cue ball. I was one of them that you get really mad at because I would hide the cue ball if I didn't have a shot. And that would piss off those 7s. I would still lose, but I was taking a chance at them putting in the 8 or scratching or something. That was my main job.
Milk, just a teeny bit.
You're not drinking coffee.
Yeah, I'm not excited enough.
Bad habits. You're just going.
I knew this
down
race
the
was
road
going to
and
be
hand
like
bicycles.
this. Cars are running so close together, running so fast, so many unknowns. I knew it was going to be this kind of race, and I've been kind of hyper about it.
Just as glad you're not out there.
Just as glad.
Can I ask you that?
Yeah.
That's Daryl and Buddy Baker
Pits
talking.
are open, and here they come. Boogity, boogity.
All right, let's see if we can see what we do. And they're probably going to show Mark, but because he's the leader. Oh, we're parked right in front of him. I don't see my dad running out, so that's good. That means everything's cool. He's behind the wall.
Please, just a little. Thank you.
Right side tires for Joe Nemechek, and he's off.
Boy, they're making good stuff.
I can only get two tires at a
Gain.
Yellow flag pit stop. They can get any they want under green.
Michael Gain. Pretty quick stops.
Curious how the tires look after the new track, new pavement. If they blistered or shredded or... Uh-oh. That's not ours. That's black on their screen. I can jump up ahead a little bit. Let me see.
Allison's new working with Ron Zook Motorsports team. On pit road right now, Dick Berggren standing by.
And I'm standing by with Dave Bott. David.
Oh, Jesus, he hit a lot.
Race car. What happened out there, Dave?
Oh, my God, that hurt.
I don't know, Dick. Just a bunch of smoke, and I thought I picked the right line, and something happened. Somebody slid up in front of me. Wasn't nothing I could do. I hit Dirk Stevens right in the door, and he's okay. I got to thank Hank Parker for giving me this opportunity, and the Delco board people for putting their sponsorship on this race car and giving us a chance. We had a good race car today. I really thought we could finish good.
You can tell he's okay. He got all his sponsors in.
Yeah, old Hank Parker, he's a jewel. That's the guy I sold all my Busch stuff to, and they've had a lot of problems. But Jake's over there working on the car, and I think David's going to make good.
I think I checked with RJ. I think that he said that
in May, Parsons moving along up there. We were watching the car. It was third.
Catfish Parker's his son.
Shot right to the rear, went back to about.
I met one of them, like his Catfish. I met Catfish, but I couldn't remember his last name.
He lost a car. He crashed one out of here back in a couple of days.
In fact, at the billiard hall that I would practice at, he and Stephen Wallace came in and they sat down and were goofing off with me, and they were treating an old lady nice.
Second place battle beginning to develop.
They were.
See the 20? That's Jimmy Hensley in the Randy LaJoy car.
They were asking me what they want, what to play on the jukebox, and buying me a drink, which I didn't drink any alcohol at that time, especially when I was shooting pool.
Back here comes.
I drank Diet Coke and lime for like 14 years.
Good ride. That's a fast car. It's really good on super speedways.
It's the only reason I can get away with having a beer or two late, nowadays.
He has won a race in that 20 car this year, and just to update you, he is okay, but he suffered a mild concussion in that crash and decided that he better let him wait a few days before he...
All during my racing time, I didn't drink.
Jimmy Hensley stepped into that.
After like
Giving it a good ride at the present time.
93-ish, 92-ish, something like that.
Here when we at the start of the race.
Because I was working a full-time job and working at the racetrack on the weekends. It was just no time to party. It was work and sleep, travel, and sleep.
Alvin Sawyer stays well in front.
For 2 years straight, it's like you don't have time really for goofing off.
And into turn number one, Gant falls back behind 6 or 7 cars. Harry Gant's car number 7 in trouble.
Broken.
Looks like it could be the end of the day for the 87 and 91 winner of this race, Harry Gant.
Well, Harry's retiring, as everybody knows, and I know this is not this is a little early for his retirement today, though. He would like to run this whole race, and he always runs well here, so he had a chance to win, I'm sure.
21 Grand National wins, a lot of them for Ed Whitaker. They were hoping to have a good day, but that car 7 is coming in, and we'll see what the story is here, but it came in very slow.
Taylorsville was a town next door to where I lived for like 2013 to
temperamental
2017, 2016.
That car backing up. Another.
He blew up too.
Like another one's losing a cylinder.
Well, I lived in Hidden Night.
High attrition. The pace.
A cabin a mile into the woods. I loved it.
Fact, and then what people.
I wish I never gave it up. I only owed a little tiny bit more on it.
Well up out of the line. And those guys get underneath it now.
It was a lease to own, and I.
44. There's Green making a run and getting under Kenny Wallace. That's back in 19th position.
I regret not having the place, but I don't regret the neighbors. The neighbors were bad shit crazy. I'm crazy.
And get the best possible
gun toting
on a day when everybody else is having trouble.
Blow shit up crazy. And they'd rob from you too.
Alton Sawyer's Ford stays front with Mark Martin in second. As we update after 45 laps the field for you.
I'd have tools disappear all the time. Like, where'd my bow saw go? It was right here.
Seen on TBS.
Gone. Never showed up. Gotta buy a new one.
Tie, put on the helmet. Start 35th. You're in pretty good company. Earnhardt's back there with you tomorrow.
Yeah, he and I started back like that at Dover, and
It was my fault. I didn't put it away. I was trimming the path,
behind me.
the path road in the woods,
Sometimes he
and I stopped, and I was going to finish it the next day. So I hung it on a tree, and the neighbor walked by and stole it.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not doubting you. Will I doubt Darrell Waltrip?
Mark takes the lead.
I love North Carolina, but I don't like the lawlessness in the wilderness, in the mountains, you know? I'd love to have a little piece of land in the mountains, but
So,
I think I'm actually more secure here in Florida. Like, I don't worry about thievery or anything where I'm at right now.
you got to have a super team.
Oh, he does. Bob Sutton on
But
that team.
I've had so many things stolen and been broke into so many times in North Carolina. I guess they see a cabin in the woods and they think it's empty or no one's there. They think it's part-time.
32 and 34 having a pretty good tussle at the present time. And Chad Little's in there just behind them.
That little town of 105 people had probably 103 thieves.
So far, the Cup guys haven't fared too well. Kenny Schrader's out, Earnhardt's out. Several of the Cup guys have had trouble. Bobby Labonte is out.
And they're not shy about it. I mean, all my fishing gear leaning up against the tree and stuff. Can I have my fishing stuff?
Near the end of the race,
You kidding me?
right at the front.
He's 10th right now. Here's Dick Berger.
It's just a twisted.
Races here in Charlotte.
Look at life up there.
Well, I think we broke a push rod or a rock arm.
I'm talking like not the people that live in
High today.
bigger towns, but I'm talking when you get up in the mountains and 100 people per town.
Be able to win the last Busch race.
It's like
But
a warm Alaska where every
maybe we'll do better Rockingham.
scoundrel runs it.
On TBS in the Winston Cup Show.
Indeed. Last ride here. Won his first super speedway event in '82. Stanton Barrett had a good qualifying mark, 25th. Retiring Wendy's car out of this Grand National race. 51 laps are now complete. So in the first segment of this race,
It's a pretty paint job back then.
continues to be a good squabble up in front. Martin
They
Soul.
changed their colors and rebranded.
Battle. There's Nemechek right there fighting for second, bottom of the blue car. McLaughlin right with him.
Nemechek's on Hoosier tires, and
That set of tires doesn't seem to be
Phil Parker
as good as the last one, unless, well, see, they put on just right.
really
So the lefts have already grown.
best as far as endurance goes.
What's the comp?
So they won't grow no more. So when the rights grow,
Pretty close.
you got to kind of allow that it's going to be a little more stagger than they had before.
Seems to gamble a little bit more than
Because they grew together, and now you have these being here, and then this is going to grow a little bit
Do you wish they had
different.
spec tire and called it a day?
they have it in every other series. In all the NASCAR
gonna
series, they have a tire rule. And
Build up a little bit different.
we need one here. It's costing the owners a ton of money. It's hurting drivers. And I'm sympathetic of the tire manufacturer. I'm
That's why they
NASCAR.
take 3 temps and the air pressures.
54 laps complete.
Half a pound makes a big difference in these, especially when you're only running on whatever inch tires. We're used to the modifieds. You have a whole lot of tire to hold on to with the modified. These here,
Up in 12th. Sterling with him.
less snail foot, I guess.
You never know how hard these guys are running. Sometimes they just wait to the break and make adjustments to their cars and then go hard in the second half.
You tend to want to run the lowest pressure you have to
Cable. That's what
have your
at the bottom of that cable
tire be more snail foot, more
there, and that's what keeps
more
coming
wider
at 90 degrees. So that's just all that is. The cable
tread width.
I can't believe they have anything like that in Earnhardt's car with his.
That's why with the M&H's, like I was saying earlier, you could get away with that, running them softer because they had a harder, stiffer sidewall and like a 1/4 inch taller sidewall too.
Cars you're looking at right now are about
You
5.
could snail foot them real good.
The leader.
I don't even know if M&H Tire even is still in operation.
11.
They used to do all mostly dragster tires, if you remember, and modified tires.
Gives you some sense of those.
Goodyear probably
Mile and a half,
does.
24-degree bank, Daryl.
Goodyear probably does the modifieds
How
now.
does that feel?
I never even look.
31
I
degrees.
watch mods
Well,
every
You get so much grip
every week, at least 2 or 3 races.
at Daytona with the surface being the way it is. And if you watch those cars from an aerial view, how quickly they go around that turn, you'll get some sensation of what it feels like.
How about that Justin Bonsignor? He wins the New Hampshire race and the modified, and then he runs up front all day. Even I think he even led the Busch race. It was really too bad that he just victim of circumstances. But my heart is warmed when I see the mod drivers do so well. That makes me happy.
I need to make an observation on Mark, and he's just sitting right where he wants to be right now. He's keeping him in check about 15,
It's my
20 car lengths back.
screen. Oh, that's me way back there.
To lead the race by that
Oh well,
right there. That's all he's doing.
because my camera is way over there.
He basically has that car on.
In order to
right now.
do this in my room, I had to kind of do this. I have a huge like screen stand, monitor stand, and 2 monitors, and one's aimed toward my bed a little more, and this one's aimed toward me to see here. But I have my camera on the top of the monitor. I always could probably move it. Got enough leash to move it next time closer somewhere. I might have to put it on my tea shelf. I have a shelf full of all these herb teas because I've always been an herbalist. Like grow my own food and stuff when I could back in the day.
Running total, would you number them?
When I lived in the cabin.
Tire, just so I've got the total.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
And got all kinds of herb teas, Yogi brand.
29. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With ginger and different antioxidants and stuff. But I am not a freak about it because I'm drinking a Monster Energy drink.
Providing these aerial shots of today's race, Advanced Auto Home of PDQ. Parts.
It's too hot to drink coffee.
Exciting stuff from the top side here today.
Yeah, it really is. And if you keep an eye on that interval between the 87 car Nemechek and our leader, Mark Martin, that will not.
I might have to get me some.
Going to run hard enough to keep Nemechek about 15, 20 car lengths back. Take care
I might
of the
have
tires,
to get
get
me
to halfway.
some
That's his mission right
ice.
now.
Second and third right there. And
In
they're
an RV, our freezer isn't very big.
He really is. That's how good that car is. That's how good Mark is.
Meanwhile, on pit road,
So I tend to want to
number 92, and Larry Pearson had to come in. He's 7th
not waste space for ice,
today.
per se. So
Good for Pearson.
I could probably dig up a couple of the trays, but I'd go through trays like crazy. I'd have to have a
real bad
box and a
sometimes and not
tray.
so
And
bad the
all.
others. So I guess they're trying to fix that now.
There you see the interval, Darrell, between first, back to second and third. And then it's...
Because I like iced coffee. It's cheaper to go to McDonald's probably and just get it for $1.50.
Brothers in 8th, Bobby Hill in his 9th, Cope is in 10th, Terry Labonte 11th.
Jimmy Hensley and Sterling Marlin are not too far out of that group either. So we kind of got some,
This set of tires is not.
but for the most
It's not treating him good today.
we've lost a lot of race cars here early on. So I think everybody's just taking care of their cars now.
Can't run it on the line anymore. It's got the stagger just off a bit.
Hit the nail right on the head, Ken Squire, when he said Mark Martin is going to try to stay in the lead. The reason, just before that last pit stop, his temperature, water temperature, was climbing. They were becoming concerned. Reason for the water temperature climbing? Some of the rubber from the racetrack flying back in and hitting the grill and starting to fill it up. They must have memories of Darlington, where
That's what I wanted to know.
he was leading until at the very end, the temperature rose so high, the motor exploded. He's going to stay out in front, you better believe.
That's what I wanted to know, if on the new pavement, if it was making gumballs.
Trying to check out on McLaughlin.
Apparently it is.
No, that's again, Nemechek's on the Hoosier tires, and they're holding up pretty well. Looks like I haven't seen any indication of any problem.
Take a look at Benson here in the 74. Giving it a good ride after all the trouble.
Steve Bird's crew chief on that car at that point. They had mentioned a couple of races ago, so I assume it hadn't changed.
25th, Joe Bessie in that Duraloop car. Pride of Scarborough, Maine, Joe Bessie, and they say he's
one of our boys from up north.
I had heard a rumor
He didn't drive.
Raven's car.
He didn't drive modifieds. He was Busch North.
Nemechek and Winston Cup.
BGN, and they called it.
One of those guys, it seems like if he was financed a little bit better, had a little bit more equipment, he could do a lot better job because he's shown the ability to run up front.
He'll drive a few races for Moroso. My dad, crew chief with him.
Moved up to Cup.
My dad worked with a lot of people on this track.
I can't say enough about this guy. Early on in the year, I said he can't drive a Busch car. He's a modified driver. He needs to go back and drive modified. He made me out to be wrong because he has really improved in that race car.
Like McLaughlin in the Fiddle Faddle 34.
A lot of people say the car is a car, even though that's the only open wheel cars that they have. Now, why would you think, because he was a modified guy and came out of those ranks rather than sportsman, that he wouldn't smooth out?
Well, it's the heavier race car that we talk about periodically. Bigger racetracks, these 1.5 and 2 mile super speedways, and it just takes some getting used to. And some guys never make that transition from that 15-inch wide modified tire to this little 12-inch wide super speedway tire at places like Charlotte.
It is true that they have a way different driving style.
It took some getting used to. I didn't know if he could do it or not, but he has done it. And Uncle Mike is coming in the pit.
Like where you lift earlier in these heavier vehicles, you drive the modified in deep,
on the pit road,
stomp the gas, and you almost trail brake.
Well, the deal is Michael came over the radio just a
keep the RPMs up and the gas and all. You use the brake and gas at the same time to turn the modified, because those wheels are so big, and it's not like a coast around kind of like these do. How you lift it a little earlier and so you can get on it quicker.
They're working on the right rear. Michael down and away, but he's
in modified. You're not off the gas much at all. It's just a bump bump. You can almost hear it when they race.
We have done that now since our last caution. If we're going to have a tire problem, it's going to start to show up.
Oh, and Mike McLaughlin, in case you didn't know, is Max McLaughlin's dad. And Max is racing more dirt lately. I think Huffman Racing had an interview with him that he was going to be racing dirt this year.
The driver,
I mean,
a little bit nervous
in real life, not 94.
I think I got a tire torn up. I'm coming in the pit.
There you see Nemechek in the 87. He now has second spot to himself. McLaughlin is in third.
We got a
turn 3. Car 43. Getting it high, bringing out the caution. And that'll be the second caution of the afternoon. This for Rodney Combs of Lost Creek, West Virginia. That'll be the third caution of the day.
And that's about the worst thing that Uncle Mike could have happen to him. He just comes in, gets 4 tires, goes back on the racetrack, and gets a caution, and that just about ruins his day.
And when we were watching 93,
poor old Rodney Combs laying up on the wall.
Black flag car.
At the end of the season,
on the top of that 24-degree.
They had announced this Black Flag and one other sponsor.
He's out and okay. Take a look here.
For him and.
He lost that thing right on the straightaway. I'm not sure. That's got to be a tire problem because he was not even to the turn yet, and up into the fence he went. So I think he may have had a tire problem. Wouldn't be surprised.
It's the rear end. Did you see the rear end?
Holding his shoulder as he comes back there.
Well, that's about as bad a place as you could have.
Did you watch the rear tire was
180 miles
jacking around? I think he broke a trailing arm or something.
We'll update you on Rodney Combs. There's 72 laps complete as the field is back under caution. 11 cars.
There's the left side of the
45 car field.
Unless that happened in the accident, but that's odd to see it just floating around like that without being impacted.
In this event. That's about 27 laps off. Stay with us here for all the action on TBS.
Look at that. We're still at 73 of 200. So far, so good. These little exploders, though. Man. all right. He's got the window net down. Let me skip ahead because they take forever on these. See if we can get some pit stops. Oh, back here, that shop right there, you see the roof of? That was Kowicki's shop. Just so you know, like, if you ever see that water tower on iRacing, that's Kowicki's shop right below there. Well, it's Jeff Bodine's, and let's see.
Promotional fees
Okay, here we go.
have been paid by Winn-Dixie, the low-price leader. By Duraloo, it makes the difference.
The database I use,
Zook Alliance.
right here, Austin LaPlante. He's got every year of Busch, all three, the top three, and other stuff too.
Bumper to bumper 300, 26.
He's got the the greatest database of them all. He's got almost every race.
I said it was a bad break for Uncle Mike.
It's a full-time deal for him to keep up with that, I bet.
Tires. He might be able to get around Mark here since Mark
He plays some older ones too as premieres.
back, which could turn out to be okay.
Well, let's see what happens out here. To Mark Martin, drawing out to a 10-car length advantage over the yellow car of Michael Waltrip. Uncle Mike, as DW calls him. On board with Derek Cope a little further back.
He threw the hand up then. He said, hold up, guys. It's a little tight up here. Let's single file it in here, and let's don't run over each other.
Derek Cope, 9th position. Just in front of him.
You know, that's good savvy racing when a driver will do that. Tell the
Checking up.
what he's going to do. He was going to lift out the throttle, and he didn't want somebody to ram him in the rear. So, you know, that's good savvy racing. I'm glad to see him do that.
Let's get a quick report on the weather here.
Yeah, it is a weather report too, Ken Squire. What's happened is our weather has changed dramatically from the green flag. At that time, we had heavy overcast. Track temperature was about 90 degrees. Well, it's 17 degrees warmer now. We've got full sunshine, and it is changing the way the race cars respond to the speedway. So much so, in fact, that Mark Martin's crew is out trying to find a set of scuffed tires, which they'd like to put on this race car at the halfway point.
Y'all know Charlotte.
We've got right now.
It's very weather reactive even today.
And take a look at the next.
You know that from your sim.
As you ride, once again with Derek Cope closing.
We're still running in second.
It's a little lower line there.
Yeah, he does. Looks like Bobby's car is pushing up.
Oh, what I was saying about the paint job, they have Bell South once in a while
Derek
on there,
keeps that.
and Cintas. It was, like I said, they were just like affiliates
You know, I think Mark
that helped them get through from race to race, the 9 races that they ran that season.
he's going to try to hold him at bay, I think.
See Chad Little there in fourth.
This will be a shorter stream than normal.
Parsons next.
I wouldn't count Phil Parsons out either. That car's on Hoosier tires.
Like I said, it was just really, I like how it started, so
Just smooth. Did a
Hanging in
good job.
there. Hanging in there.
I didn't look at my notes to see where we finished.
Place, which is the 87. And staying in there, hanging in McLaughlin. Lap car is Michael Walter, who had an incredible lap in qualifying the other night.
Yeah, we
I
thought
thought he was going to psych him
I didn't write it down,
fast. He got
so
on,
it'll be a surprise to me.
and I thought he was working himself into a spot where he could get in trouble.
Yeah, well, I think he knew he had a good car, and you know, sometimes
The first
cars that good
Charlotte race, he blew motor.
kind of give you the confidence, say, yeah, your car's good, you're good, you get the job done. I think he just wanted to talk about it. I don't think he was psyching himself out.
Well, what everybody was really talking about that night, folks, was DW, saying, hey, those kids up there, they're really going. And take a look at this battle for fourth. As you see 32, Jarrett, and
I
you see
need to raise my table up.
inside, whipping beneath, Chad Little in the 23, and drawing with them, Bobby.
Not now, but when I'm offline, there's a way to adjust it, make it taller.
Race, Darrell,
Because I don't like slouching.
Young John Andretti, your brother. A lot of guys looking very brave out there. Nemechek,
Well, that's not what wins races. Not 500-mile races. That's what wins poles. What wins races is sharp pit crews like mine and Earnhardt's and Rusty Wallace's, and drivers that use their head and not just their foot. Qualifying's a whole different ball game. That's a one-lap race, and we're talking about a 500-mile race.
so you're looking forward to tomorrow from 32.
I feel excellent. I'm pretty racy.
Hey, take a look at Phil Parsons looking racy just as
Yeah, I noticed.
a few moments ago.
It's not even halfway.
The weeds, looking things over, and he's beginning to make his move. Parsons jumping up through cars, picking up another spot.
See, the thing about that car, it's on Hoosier tires. It's his car. He's going to drive that car pretty smartly. He's not going to take a chance. He doesn't want anything to happen to it till he gets to halfway in.
I bet that sun coming out loosened that car up tremendously.
And,
so it's going to be pushing in loose.
Next, second
for Joe.
Parsons, back there 6. You won here last time. How important is it to run good at Charlotte?
Push it going in and loose out.
This is obviously a big,
or just, you know, like the stagger is messed up.
on the circuit, and so we certainly.
He's not able to wrap it as low.
And myself and whatnot, but who knows? It's going to be real competitive. It was competitive last time, and we were fortunate enough to win, so we'll see what happens.
Ken, all these drivers that are in this series, they're auditioning every week. They are trying to impress Winston Cup car owners. They want car owners that are watching this race in the garage area. They say, that guy could make a Winston Cup driver. That guy could be a winner. And there's so many musical seats out there right now with nobody to fill them. Some of these guys don't want the music to stop and them not be sitting in one of them. That's what they're thinking on Saturday. They're looking forward to Sunday and what can they do to get in that deal on Sunday.
But Parsons seemed star-crossed, and hopefully he came out from behind that with that race in May. He had the Winston Cup experience. It went away from him. He got dropped out of a couple of teams. He came out here with his own team and just did a remarkable job here, and that's what he's trying to duplicate. Now look at Grissom in 31 as he continues to drive up through this field. Grissom up to 13th from 45th.
Dad will work with Grissom in
Hermie Sadler.
98, I believe.
Hermie's still in this.
That's what my notes said.
Count him out either.
Nor Benson in the 74, back 15th. Ooh, and all of a sudden,
oh, he blew up.
Grissom slowed down. The 31, the blue car on the inside. There's a mark on the left side door. I don't know when that came about, but he's running very slowly.
No, I saw the poof.
Run, you can see the
pretty sure
side messed up. The left side, I thought had a bang on it as well.
Ken, I'll just make an observation here. You heard Harry Gant say earlier they pulled a little higher gear to be conservative. The track is so fast. That car ran so quickly through traffic. We see trash on the grill, too. That could have some effect on that engine. But he failed an engine. I believe he had a low gear in that car. And I believe that's why he could work traffic the way he could.
I could tell exactly it was.
Through traffic, but once again,
I just could tell. I don't know how to explain it.
That's the 13th car to retire.
When the rear wheels lurch. And you see a little poof.
4th position.
And it's a white poof.
Going around the stricken car of Grissom, trying to make it back on the pit road. 10 laps to halftime here. As Martin stays first, Nemechek second, McLaughlin third, Dale Jarrett fourth, Parsons fifth, and Bobby Hillen looking very stout in that black number 99, the Luxair car just behind him.
Yeah, we've seen Robert Presley give that 99 car.
Bob Presley, I think's his dad.
That's his dad. We've seen him give that 90.
I'm going to go grab me a water. I'll be right back.
And Hillen's doing a good job in that thing right now.
Grissom right back to the garage. No question that car has terminated its day.
And, you know, Hillen and Phil Parsons are great buddies. They go to church together, and their wives are real good friends. And I know they're probably having a real ball right now racing each other.
Derek Cope in that group. Back in 7th. Chad Rules 8th. Ricky Craven is now 9th.
That's a good... Cravens has come up through the field well because he started way back in the back, took a provisional, had a fast car, watched him qualifying. He almost crashed that thing qualifying. That's how come he got so far back in the field. But he's a savvy race car driver.
As Craven lies 9th, Green is in 15th. Dale Jarrett running well in 4th. Winston drivers able to intimidate this Busch gang out there?
Not anymore, no. Those guys have raced here enough to know, and on the other big tracks, that they've learned an awful lot, and no, you can't intimidate them. They're good race drivers, and you know, they've got as good equipment or better than what you have, so they know that they're good, and they enjoy racing you.
That's Dale Jarrett leading that pack of 4.
You know, Bobby Hillen is just worrying the heck out of Phil Parsons here, and I don't know, they're trying to get to halfway. We got 7 laps before halfway. I'd be kind of cooling out if it was me and just trying to get to halfway here, work on the car a little bit and go at it harder in the second half. I don't know if Hillen and Parsons are trying to get by Dale Jarrett or they're worried about Cope or what the deal is, but they're racing awful hard just to get to halfway.
And look at Cope drive down to the bottom and pull up on Hillen. Derek Cope in the 82.
In doing that, they're allowing Ricky Craven to close right up on him, too. So he's going to be in the mix here in just a second.
Yeah, Craven is now having an outstanding day.
Well, he's second in the points, and, you know, if anything happens to that 44 car, he could easily move into the lead.
Coming in, just 92 points behind Green to Dick Berger.
Steve Grissom had a great run going until that engine blew up, Ken Squire. Steve, how come they're blowing up so many motors today?
I don't know. I tell you, the new surface here at Charlotte Motor Speedway and the Goodyear tires, the cars are gripping so well and pretty much running around the track wide open without lifting. And, it's a pretty good while just to stay wide open, not give the motor a chance to breathe.
Well, this guy can sure run them wide open.
That's a factor. I mean, the track is so fast, and these cars will run wide open around this racetrack, and you just can't do that to a 6-cylinder motor. You can't do it to a V8 for as that goes.
There you see Tracy Leslie's number 72, and Resendez leading that pack in the 79 back in 18. Battles back up here. Now the squabble continues as you see Jarrett, and here comes Cope, picking up a couple more spots. Derek Cope on the drive.
And Ricky Craven on the bottom there getting under Phil Parsons. And if I was a spotter or if I was a car owner, I'd be on the radio right now reminding my driver that we're going to stop here in just a few more laps, and let's not have any mistakes made here before we get to halfway.
These cars are 6 3/10 seconds down to the leader, Mark Martin, and Nemechek in second. McLaughlin runs third, and this cluster of cars is battled for fourth. And there's Craven.
Yeah, they drug Craven up here. Then back here is Phil Parsons, and not too far behind them comes Kerry Labonte and Sterling Marlin. So all this heavy racing that these guys right here are doing are allowing some of these other cars to catch up here before halftime. Yes, folks, this is a race, and we are going to have halftime, and you will have a chance to go get you a bag of popcorn and a hot dog and come back and see the best racing you ever saw in your life in the second half.
We need a marching band.
Oh, yeah. We may have one. This is Charlotte. You never know what Humpy's going to do for halftime entertainment.
Well, it's a short halftime this time, folks. Just 5 laps under caution. Used to have 15 minutes. Look at this battle continue. You're dead on. As they continue this little parlay, there's about 5 other guys that are saying, thank you very much. We'll get ourselves up in here.
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to stop here, and they're all going to get out of their cars and say, man, why were you racing me so hard? I was just trying to get to halftime, and they're all thinking the same thing.
Looks to me like Hill and Parsons are just having the ball racing each other.
I think they are, because, I mean, I've seen Bobby dive in and out from behind the field and try to get up alongside of him. You know, the cars are probably so good and sticking so well. They
Okay, I'm back.
just how close it looks from up here.
Ricky Craven's going to join us tomorrow. He's going to
shoot, I got a drink of milk and I forgot my water.
face off for the last 3 days. No kidding, no fun with him. He is trying so hard to get back up on top of this point battle.
Well, he's a man on a mission, and
got a caution. And we're at halfway.
Yep.
Yellow flag indicating halfway. 100 laps as this aerial platform shot provided by the good folks at Advance Auto Parts brings us to halfway. PDQ Parts delivering quick. And there they are, being tethered after the first half of the battle with Mark Martin in front, Nemechek in second. Fun was watching Derek Cope, Gillen, and Craven, and Parsons just having a ball back there in that race for fourth spot.
Looks like a halfway.
So we're at halfway, and here's how it's going to go. Here's how they say that it's going to go, Derek. We're going to have 5 laps.
Spun out when I took a break.
Come in and do pretty much anything you want. A little gray about this sort of thing.
Yeah, they always are.
Change all the tires. Change some other stuff.
We're still running P3.
Stuff you can't change.
Well,
the Centos 87. Dad was
anything that you can do under a normal pit stop.
co-chiefing with Joe in the Busch for the 9 races he ran in
Crews are today under
94.
We have been able to change a carburetor,
1994.
track bar, the thing that holds the rear end housing up under the car, sway bars. There's so many things that these crews have learned to do. They've got the cars built to make quick changes. And I don't think NASCAR officials have realized
We're going to have
how much
chicken
work can get done on
tacos
one
for
of these
supper,
cars
but it's
under a
too
normal pit
hot
stop.
right now.
So they get confused, or they get really, I don't know what happens.
And we'll be able to
their eyes a little bit when a guy starts doing something in the car and he says, whoa, you can't do that.
cook after. When you live in an RV, you can't use big appliances and your AC the same time. I don't know if you know that.
Gary's over there. That's a good thing.
That That was my can. I put it in the sink.
Talking about things like that, he just kind of shakes his head.
That's what I like about an RV. Everything is close. You just toss it in the sink for later.
We're at
I'll
halfway
pick it up later.
in the all-pro bumper-to-bumper 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. In second spot remains Joe Nemechek with McLaughlin in third. Then you've got Derek Cope.
Jerry Parker is getting his Mid-Atlantic Motorsports
in eighth, Chad Little in ninth.
league up on Saturday night again. They're usually a really good league. Great drivers and all.
Retired.
It's where my son really made great progress in the beginning when he first learned how to race. Ooh, look, we're going in the pits.
Already in and
see if we see Dad. Oh, crap, I almost hung myself again.
I don't think you'll see any.
Dad's on the other side of the pit wall.
Anybody out here. They've got a few minutes. I think they'll take their time, be sure they do it right.
I'm pretty sure.
They're going to talk to the driver, and they're going to decide what needs to be done. If anything, if Mark Martin's case, he's going to clean the window, knock the stuff off the grill, and leave.
And when they go back out, they'll assume the position they were in.
Where is Dad?
Flag at halfway, so this is not a big deal about charging out there.
No,
Did get a chance to see some of the pit work, though, by three outstanding Grand National teams.
Yeah, these guys that
Trying to see where. Oh, he must be up on the box.
they just have to
I
like.
think. No, he usually gets
These
there.
cars are pretty much the same, just a little bit different in the engine configuration. Next year, they'll be almost identical to Winston Cup cars.
Yeah, what will be the difference?
Well, they're going to be heavier, and our cars are maybe going to be lighter.
I actually couldn't see him in my view. He might be up on the box.
Maybe 100 off our cars, bring them up 100. What the concept is, and I think it's a good idea, they want to bring the Cup cars and the Busch cars closer together in specifications, so a guy
They're still in.
car, get in a Sunday car, get in a Winston Cup car, and not have to make that great big transition. They want the cars to be very close together, so the talent that's in
Halfway break. This is nice.
race and not feel like
Get to see all kinds of stuff.
Take a moment right here. Let's go down to the pit
It's
stop.
my favorite part.
Thanks,
Is the pits.
The Weekend Racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. The Weekend Racing brought to you by Auto Week, America's only enthusiast auto weekly. This week, of course, at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Sportsman Division has been in action. Wednesday night, they had a busy week. We're going to show you some
I
highlights.
gotta fix that camera.
Off the green flag Wednesday night, a clean start. Wally Fowler led the field. He was the fastest.
I'm so little.
He was challenged by Gary Layton in car number 74. Big crash in turn number 4. Several cars involved, 7 cars.
Oy vey.
Once they got back under green, the 35 of Robin Caldwell, the 01 of Shot Howard, David Smith, all in a great battle. And then at the end of the race, it finished under caution. Car number 88, David Owens, sliding to a stop. Wally Fowler, your winner in car number 4. The race finishing Wednesday night under caution here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This weekend, we're saying goodbye to a legend. The Arrivederci Mario Tour comes to an end. Former IndyCar, former World Driving Champion Mario Andretti wraps up his IndyCar career at Laguna Seca this weekend. Says he's going to be back in endurance racing, maybe even in a NASCAR car. He's a fast winner of the Daytona 500. So we'll see how Mario plays the rest of his career. Now, another big race this weekend at Syracuse, New York, the annual Syracuse 300 for the dirt track modified drivers. Here's the way they've qualified for tomorrow's race. Dave Blaney, the World of Outlaws star on the pole, Joe Plasick, Billy Decker, Steve Payne, and Bob McCready. And that is the Auto Week.
Some really
Fans call 1-800-851-2600. Get it
cool names because the kids are racing now.
off the newsstand price. It ends Monday night, 1-800-851-2600.
You saw those familiar names.
Worth of Auto Week. We'll be back in Charlotte in just a moment.
I like seeing second and third generation or even more
Comes back in the pit.
racers racing.
Yeah. So he kind of buffed them in on his own.
Dad worked with Joe Bessie. I think he liked working with Joe.
Like what you got here?
I think he really enjoyed it. I think it was only 2 races, and they didn't have a great
Can we get Buzz in while he's here now, do you think?
record. I'm not sure. We're getting into that next year in '95. It'll be the beginning of '95, which doesn't start well for the team.
Great shot. He looks winded to me.
Okay. Okay. All VO, not on camera. All off the... Okay. And all the Winn-Dixie stuff is voiceover, not on camera.
Can you hear me? Okay.
And this is Bessie.
Yeah, I'm back
we're
up.
looking at.
Satellite feed. On how to get prepared. Interesting to me. I don't know.
The Charlotte Motor Speedway under caution. We're halfway through today's Busch Grand National 300 miler here on TBS. Wonderful to have you with us. I'm Rick Benjamin, and we are looking forward to a shootout in the second half of today's event. As we check our Winn-Dixie mid-race report today, there have been 6 lead changes so far among 3 drivers. Mark Martin's been the dominant force. Our race average speed a little over 131 miles an hour so far. 3 caution periods worth 18 laps. So far, 14 cars are officially out of the program here today. Here are some of the drivers who are not in the show at this point. Dale Earnhardt out very early.
Earnhardt blew up real early.
Kenny Schrader, Stevie Reeves, Doug Hevron, and David Bonnet involved in a big crash up at turn 3, as was Dirk Stevens and Tim Bender, who started it all. Harry Gant with an engine failure. Bobby Labonte, Ed Barrier, Rodney Combs, and Richard Petty's car, who whacked the wall a while back. Steve Grissom with a motor. He went out. Jason Keller is also out of the show at this point.
I think the Combs family is
so far.
kin to
Who started outside the front row.
Dylan Wilson.
And Mark Martin. Nemechek took it back for about 23 laps. Martin again for 9. Elton Sawyer on top for 8 laps. And Mark Martin took over on lap 49. He has led so far to this halfway point. We are still under caution. The 5-lap caution period nearly ready to go green. Lots of activity on pit road. Randy Pemberton, what have you seen?
Wow, I'd like to see some of these changes made under a normal caution flag. Kenny Wallace, 2 rounds of wedge out, 4 tires, changed the right front shock, and knocked the spoiler out a little bit. The Staff America car, the 74 car, they just changed 4 tires. Not too much there. Bobby Donner's been working on his car. They've got a problem in the left front. They can't figure that out. As far as David Green, who's been running 17th, they just moved the track bar a ½ inch, changed all 4 tires, and some air pressure changed in the rear tires of that car. And as far as Ricky Craven goes, looks like 4 tires, and that's about it. Dick Berger, what happened up that way?
Well, up here, Randy, it's a good thing we're near Halloween, because I'm going to tell you what, it was just plain bizarre spooky. We're so used to watching these guys come in and try 18-second pit stops to do their service. Here they had 5 laps to do it. So the crews were just sort of going around the car doing their work. At Mark Martin's car, they put on 4 scuff tires. They didn't change a thing. Steve Meal says the car is absolutely perfect. They're going to try to run it all the way to the end without doing any more changing. Joe Nemechek's car is just a little bit loose going into the corner. They didn't change any wedge in the car, but they changed the air pressure ever so slightly. And over at Ricky Craven's car,
gosh, I'm smart.
I'm worrying about the radiator. They are.
I didn't pre-watch that part.
Engines blow.
That was just observation.
They want to finish this thing. They're running second in points, so they had a water hose on the radiator for much of their pit stop, and that's what they were more interested in than adjusting the car.
That's Joe Bessie getting ready to go back to work. He's riding in 20th position. We're getting set on a restart. 5-lap caution period with non-counting laps. Those were technical non-counting laps. As they come down, the board will
green flag.
3 laps complete. A lap to get it down and officially a lap to get it back up to speed. And Mark Martin from the point, breaking out in front, but trying to get around him. Michael Walter trying to take that lap back.
Well, I think Michael on that break had a chance to find out what that vibration was. If it wasn't a tire, maybe they fixed whatever it was. He may be able to run a little bit harder now. So we'll see what happens here.
Well, as he runs side by side with Nemechek,
you want to play
Boyd in third, roosting on that rear bumper of number 60. Advantage for those others to collect the front of the field.
Yeah, we'll get bunched up here for a few laps. We'll have that exciting restart like we had at the beginning of the race, but
still in P3.
Be a little bit more cautious.
Because they, you know,
down a little bit with that.
Come out where they were running.
Michael Waltrip around and back in the lead lap Mark Martin in first. Down the backstretch, you see Derek Cope rolling along for second. Nemechek for third. Down on the bottom, the 99 car, Bobby Hillen, that black number 99, making its move to try to get back up and search for the lead.
The 59 car's off the pace down here coming off turn 4, but see what happens on those deals there. Mark put on scuffed tires, and it may take those tires a lap or two to get the heat built up in them. Michael may have put on brand new tires, and they're going to come in just right away, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Dennis Setzer back there in 19th spot. We still have 26 cars in the lead lap. Hood's up. Looks like it's swallowed a cylinder.
Yeah,
he has been smoking
it's
some.
smoking on pit lane here. So.
Pass for second. And there's Nemechek.
Oh no, stool's not as comfy, dude.
You know, Ken, sometime when you
Watch.
work on the car to make changes to it, you do all the wrong things and really get the car off. Whereas if it's a normal pit stop, you couldn't do all that. So Nemechek's car looks quick. He's coming up there, and Mark looks like his tires are starting to build. He probably had low air pressure. They're coming back. And he'll chase Michael back down there in a second. Everything looks like it's staying about the same.
Well, you saw McLaughlin checking out there, and Hillen.
If I
all getting around Derek Cope and the Alice.
do away with the blinds,
He falls back a bit.
like close them,
Martin
and hang a banner,
and Derek
I could
Cope
pull my
sliding
chair
back.
back and stand up some. That might help. I also, like I said, got to change the camera.
Right now, that helped him get back in the race, and obviously his car is quick enough to lead this thing.
Taking a look at lap leaders. Pretty much dominated.
I'm lurking bottom split. If you hear something in the
incredible.
background, I'm always lurking someone on my tablet
14 of them.
or my laptop, I mean.
In the number of laps led. He's led to 909 laps in 13 races going into today in 94. Kenny Wallace is second. He's run all the races, and he's led only 784. Quite a statement about that car.
Surprised I heard it with the earphones on, but this one I keep off my ears so I can hear out in my home what's up.
Races before the year's over with to add on to that.
We are supposed to get storms. I went out with Stella just a little bit ago, and
look at
I said to my son, it sure looks like it's going to rain. It started
up a couple of spots into ninth. John,
the wind's blowing and stuff.
America car.
It's got that balmy look.
He lost the car they had prepared for the race.
I tell you, guy, that you got to keep your eye on, Ken. I know I say it at times.
Dad worked with Fedor as well.
White number 14.
White number 14. Just
later on in his career.
Days over with, they will have to deal with him.
Here's Dick Berger.
Well, Dennis Setzer, whose wounded car was
He worked with Dennis too at Moroso, I think.
road, and it's more than just a valve
I
cover.
remember meeting Dennis and his wife and child.
They've got the valve cover off. They're trying to change that rocker arm, get him fixed, get him back up.
Oh, Alliance almost never, that's Ricky Pearson's car, it almost never breaks.
If they don't get it back on the track.
See, that's just from excessive RPM, a valve train problem. That's from running the car wide open through the corner or thereabouts, and a lot of gear.
Resendez in the 79, running in 16th spot. Now back up front. The car that had been lapped. Michael Waltrip just in front of the leaders with Martin first. Nemechek right there in the second spot. McLaughlin and Hillen.
I noticed on Michael's car, he's picked up some debris on his grill too, so he'll have to be watching the old temperature gauge.
And in the point battle, Raven now in
You know what, I'm glad we still have a Winn-Dixie about 2 miles from my house.
And now, Raven with just
where I live here.
that lead that Green has in the standing with
Winn-Dixie's closed in Florida.
after today.
I mean in North Carolina when I was up there.
22nd rock.
It's still here.
Martin, do you think some of the drivers are
At least in my little town it is.
higher speeds?
None of us are scared of going fast at all. You know, what I'm scared of is not having any control over that speed. When tires blow out, we have no control over that speed at all. And if we're going to have to deal with blowing out tires, then maybe we are going too fast.
Well, that's what we were talking about. There's so many unknowns. Particularly if you just took the tires the way they were a couple years ago, you resurface a race like that as an ingredient that you don't like to deal with, and you add a tire war on top of that, and it puts the fear of God in these drivers, I'm telling you. Well, Michael, he kind of backed up. I think Mark's tires, they just had to build the air pressure on a little bit. and he's on his way back to the lead again.
Going further back in the field as you watch the 44 car. That's the car of the point leader. That's Green, and right behind him is Bessie. And that's well back. David Green is in 19th, and Joe Bessie is in 20th. It gave you that onboard shot.
It's such an you would think having a big point lead would be the thing that you would want. It'd be the thing that you'd want to go in these last few races with. But
I like the clarity.
you don't want to beat yourself. And that's what these drivers fight.
One of the few older.
Do I push it? Do I go out here and race hard and take a chance on something happening? People are going to say I'm a dumb driver. They're going to say, why didn't you protect that point lead?
Older videos, that's pretty clear.
Last few races of the year.
As we watch Bessie here working that Duraloo car, Daryl, give us some thoughts about getting control and using the line on these banks at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Well, you see the button on the steering wheel right there? See how far he has to turn that steering wheel? That is a lot of, that's a long way to turn that steering wheel. That means that car is really tight. It's really abusing that right front tire. He's got that thing turned way around there at about, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, looks like, and he's really abusing that right front tire. He almost has to get another handful to make the turn. And that's not good for the tires.
So the battle continues, and we watch Tracy Leslie come on to pit road with 116 laps complete. Mark Martin continues to dominate the All-Pro bumper-to-bumper 300.
Got another hood up.
Yep. Boom, boom, boom. Dick Berggren had it right.
They're on their break right now. Let me scoot ahead.
Oh, I love
it. You'd have a hard time being in the morning.
They're still on their break. They skipped ahead quite a bit.
Tend to be.
Pit stop,
well, there's drama continuing to develop down here. Michael Waltrip's just come back on pit road another time. Continue to work on the Pennzoil car number 30. Resendez is back in, but the big stories are on pit road. Let's get a check on the McLaughlin car and other stories down there. First from Dick Berggren.
Oh, Clyde McLeod.
Big story with McLaughlin car, Ken. That car started 8th. He's worked it all the way up to 3rd spot. Clyde McLeod. What can you do with those two Winston Cup guys in front of you?
They're pretty tough. Mark and Joe both. I mean, they got good cars. Goodyear's got a good tire. Hoosier's got a good tire. Cars are pretty equal. They're tough customers, but the old Fiddle Faddle High 2 All US Chevrolets, he's just running all she got right now.
McLaughlin has never won one of these things. He is highly motivated. Randy Pemberton.
Well, David Green back in. It is strictly sheet metal damage as we see it right now. The only thing that could be possibly out of place, the toe end could be knocked out just a little. And Daryl, I certainly wasn't trying to insinuate that you didn't know that it was just sheet metal damage, but there could possibly be a toe end problem on his car.
Yeah, well, there could possibly be. I'll go along with that. No,
Randy Pemberton knows those types of things because his brother drove modifieds.
Looked like he was going to be able to continue.
And he worked on those cars.
25. Mark Martin in the lead. Nemechek is.
That's where the Pembertons all got.
Tomorrow we start.
Their racing knowledge was through the modified ranks in, I believe, New York.
How long does it take you to get over 500?
Let's see.
Oh, it used to take, the afternoon. Now it takes a couple of days.
Ryan Pemberton used to drive
way up out of the groove like something wrong.
Yeah.
Up in New England for open shows. I believe he had a really fiery wreck at Martinsville, and that's when he quit.
You see it.
If I'm not mistaken. Don't hold me to it.
Going today. That puts us up to about 17 if that car says sayonara. Luxier, number 99 for Hillen, appears to be in trouble. Lead battle. Martin in the 60.
We're still running second.
And Mike McLaughlin.
Started second.
Champion.
Led 20-something laps.
Job he's doing. Bill Parsons, he won this race in May, stays right in, holds on to 4th. Once again, Parsons, just as he did before. We got another motor blowing down turn 2.
Uh-oh, Tracy Leslie.
He was ailing anyway, so that did him in.
Tracy Leslie.
That Detroit gasket will end up going.
Tracy Leslie came in here 10
to
hoping for a good finish, and that
Mike Dillon at the end of 95.
It's over for him at 128.
Into 96.
I tell you what, nothing's changed much at the front, though. We got us a heck of a race going on here. Nemechek is closed right up on the back of Mark.
4 cars in that group.
Because my dad will set up the shop for Mike, for Ron Parker.
Hermie Sadler in that group.
Whoa, 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 Mike.
Whoa, the lead. Leaders in the wall. Second and third, McLaughlin spinning.
Holy cow.
Mike, I was like, Mike, you're too close, you're too close.
What a deal.
What a save for Nemechek in the...
Nah, the car is screwed up.
McLaughlin up in 4, everybody able to take evasive action, and nobody collected. Nemechek fires.
Oh, he's not happy.
Because what happened was McLaughlin got down underneath the Nemechek. I think we'll see it on the replay. I don't think Nemechek's real happy with McLaughlin right now, as a matter of fact.
And I think the back end is bent a bit on that Nemechek.
I definitely wasn't there. I would remember that.
It gets down under him, and this is one of those suck the air.
I was like, oh, Mike, you're not in a good spot.
Gets into the side of the 87 car. Phil Parson did an incredible job. Some of the other guys that come along here do. And how these fellas...
Yeah, he screwed up the entire left side of that car.
Like we said, the spotters did an excellent job.
Here's another look, Daryl.
The back
That's just
on the 34. Here it comes. Here it...
inexperience. Poor Mike. Mike could drive the hell out of a modified.
Get into him, or was
I mean, they called him magic shoes.
But it doesn't take anything right at that point in the turn to turn the other car around. Normally the outside car could get away, but he was close enough and far enough up beside of him that he did get into it.
Pit road closed. Oil up there. You want to get that?
Yeah, God almighty.
Yeah, Hermie Sadler almost got into Sterling Marlin there. Everybody
Just go in the pits.
But they all made it through there.
Take your penalty. Screw that. What the hell?
Nemechek out. He's okay.
Oh, it's busted.
This happened on 128. And here comes Mike McLaughlin.
This is his own team. Limited sponsor. Just trying to make a little pocket cash, and always the way.
Martin first.
Damn.
Parsons second.
Wow. I definitely would have remembered that. That stinks. Every time you get a car running really good, something stupid happens. In real life, see, it's luck. They were probably the second best car on the track, and
Bill Parsons.
It's just luck.
Yep.
It stinks.
Tricky Ricky Creighton.
Jeez, I can't believe that.
Now it won't much matter if the 44 can just keep running.
Well, like I said, I mean, I have not seen this race since it happened in '94. I haven't rewatched many.
Update.
That's why I'm going through every one of Dad's races one at a time. I skipped a few because I liked this Charlotte race so much, but I'll go back and do the Glen and Talladega and stuff later this week. Maybe do a brief run through of them. I wanted to do this one all the way through, but the other one I will just just totally lost the nose.
Oh yeah, they touch. Yeah. Okay.
Joe, the reporters.
There's a young man.
MRN Radio.
Sorry.
Oh my God. It just makes you want to cry because I know how hard Dad worked on that.
Back here at Charlotte, and we're going to take another look at this incident in turns 3 and 4 here. Oh. I was doing good practice. Yeah, practice.
I mean, Charlotte is one of them races because you're close to home. You're entertaining a lot of people, and
we're back here.
You want to put on a good show.
3 and 4 between Nemechek and McLaughlin, and I think we got a couple of views here. Here's what we saw on camera here a while ago, and the 34 car gets the back end sucked around, and he almost misses 87, but he catches him right at the tail at the beginning of the spin there, takes them both into the wall. And now we get another look at it. Onboard camera here from Mark Martin's car, and you can see the 34 when he gets into the 87 right there. That's what turned the 87 car around. Normally that inside car will not hit that outside car, but the back end came around so quickly on the 34 that he did get into the 87. And I think Randy's got Joe down there. We'll get his version of it.
Ryan in the back there fixing the gas stuff.
Joe Nemechek, man, you killed the car. What happened out there?
Well, I'm going to chalk that up one to Mike McLaughlin. You know, he was making a move, and I'm gonna make it say it's a rookie mistake on his part. You know, he made a move to the inside, which is fine, but his car didn't stick, and it come up and hit me, and I was up giving him all the room I could. And you know, we're going so fast here at Charlotte. You can't touch anybody. Everything's got to be perfect, and once you touch somebody, things are going to happen. But he didn't make his car stick on the bottom, and it's a shame. The Cintas Chevrolet, I thought we were the only ones that had something for Mark.
Broke everything on it.
Doing just what we were supposed to do.
And that's their last race of the year with the.
He wanted to win the race too.
Vehicle with the. I think
Dick Berggren?
894.
What happened? I made a mistake. I had to run on Joe. I went in at 3.
Yeah, that would be the last race they run.
And then picked up the throttle and tail broke loose. My mistake. Phil Fallhigh Tool Chevrolet was running good, and crew did a good job, but I just feel bad for everybody that I messed up.
Well, maybe a little short, but it takes a tall man to admit a mistake.
You know, that sounds like Todd Bodine in '92. That happened to Todd, and he said, "I flat made a mistake."
Well,
I like that.
That turn right there, it's just a sucker turn. You can get down on the bottom like that underneath someone, but it won't stay. And it happens time and time again.
133 laps are completed. 200 to be run today in the All-Pro bumper to bumper.
I do believe on the sim it's that way too. All right, let's skip ahead here a little more. 2, 4. Here we are.
Coming into play here today, but right now, I mean, just anyone in that blanket, like Darrell says, I'd really have to watch for Terry, because Terry's not going to show what he's got until it's really time.
Big Chad Little's got something for Mark Martin the way it looks.
Well, one thing about Chad, whatever he's got, we're going to see it as soon as he can show it.
What put you out earlier today?
Driver failure. I was flirting with disaster, and I finally let it get away from me.
Do you like the new surface here at Charlotte?
Oh, they did a good job on it. You know, the tires are real good. We just got run around top, and the car was a little bit loose, and I kept moving up a little higher and higher, and all of a sudden I didn't have room to catch it.
Is it patience that's the key here when you're 3 wide like this?
Well, I think it's just timely moves there. I mean, Terry just made a real good move there, but Terry knows this thing's 200 laps, and you know, he's had a real good year with that MW car, and he'll come on here at the end.
He's working his way back toward the front, Ted Squire. Meantime, we've got some great action here with Chad Little leading a bunch of cars.
And patience is not the word right now.
Patience.
Holy smokes, this is like the last lap.
Don't go low there in that turn. That's not a good thing.
We're going to change money in Las Vegas. I'm telling you, this is a heck of a deal.
Not Mark, but
Michael Waltrip still trying to stay.
Mark's able to wrap the bottom. Ooh, he only lost the nose little.
Cork in the bottle on that number 30 and keep
Get a whoop whoop.
Michael makes Mark's car get loose. When
I've seen that.
Mark gets under Michael sucks him around just a little bit, and he has to come up out of the throttle, and I think that's Mark.
Michael's giving him room now.
You watch Chad Little try to duck under the 14 of Terry Labonte. That really gives you the look of those leaders, and there goes Chad Little back in there again. And one of the things this 30 is doing as Martin tries to keep him controlled and a lap down is it's forcing him to run real hard. Look at this basket.
Oh my goodness.
To collect that leader.
I thought he was going to collect the wall right there. What? He was so close.
Here's where some guys get in trouble, you know, the back.
Plus, when they say the tires are gumballing off.
Mark, I think Mark gets sucked around just a little bit there, but he's a good enough driver.
The marbles.
But Terry Labonte.
It'll be like
he did get sucked
marbles.
He got pulled. Gosh, saw Labonte make the move.
Who's leading this race? That guy in that white car.
I keep seeing people kick down in that little dirt spot on that corner.
He's a lot better than I ever gave him credit.
I wonder if they tar it.
Fantastic driver.
Terry Labonte, and just behind him, the rest of the skirmish. Martin fading back for the first time. wonder if he used.
Oh, maybe it was just speedy
Yeah,
drive.
I think Michael really used him up. I mean, I think Michael
No, I keep seeing him clipping the grass there at one of them trial turns.
a lot and get his tires hot. So I think Martin's going to fall back here a little bit and regroup.
Well, there's a story right there. You saw the 44 car getting lapped another time. Green in trouble, going down two. Point leader in the Grand National standings with 2 races to go after today. Getting swallowed up for a second time by those front runners. Terry Labate, Texas Terry, stays out in front, and Johnny Benson has come to second place.
And he fell back on that restart. I got to believe something happened, missed a gear or whatever on that restart.
Now, this is what you were talking about a moment ago, about the 60 getting used up by that number 30.
Yeah, Michael's on the outside, and we've seen that happen a time or two where the inside car, he just gets the back end pulled around him. You can see it hung out just a little bit. It'll use up a right rear tire.
Somebody's broke.
Here's Dick Bergman.
Well, Daryl, the guy who can answer your question as to what happened to Johnny Benson on the restart is his crew chief, Steve Bird. And Steve, what?
I knew Steve Bird would be there.
Yeah, went to get a hot.
Dad still meets with Steve every Monday.
He got the shift. The third gear wasn't there.
Saw him at the modified reunion this
It hurt us a little bit.
Speed Weeks February at New Smyrna.
But hey, we got a good shot at it. We brought this backup car out and we got wrecked here, and it's got the old nose and old tail and
chatting with Dad, and
we got a hell of a driver.
Ronnie Bouchard's son Robbie.
For sure.
151. And why would the next pit stop be a problem? That third gear is the issue for car number 74, Johnny Benson.
But I want to tell you something. The man, Steve Bird, is smart.
Did you see Chad Little right in the bumper? Oh. Little kiss there.
Steve Bird grew up in
a very, very talented young girl.
race shops.
That man is going to be heard from.
As a teenager, I remember seeing him
come to victory.
Like he was,
last
I think, a little bit younger than me, and he'd be sweeping. He was sweeping up the shops and stuff and hanging out either in the Peter Fiandaca shop or in Ronnie Bouchard's shop. I know he hung around in Kenny Bouchard's shop.
I call it trying to wreck the guy.
And he just learned and learned from what he saw the team doing. That was when my dad was with them in the 60s.
Terry Labate.
I'm talking from 60
to get up in front.
8, 69, 70, and 71.
Second, and
he would be at the shop every now and again.
Waltrip, run by his lonesome, just in front of him there.
Maybe a little later too, when Kenny got running.
The 20 car just brushed the wall off of turn 4 there, and I don't know what happened, but I saw the dust fly from the 20 car.
Jimmy Hensley.
Jimmy Hensley, and he was running good too.
There you see the Craven car, number 2. Remember, he's had his hands full and fallen back to 12th. He was up there as a contender for the lead for a while.
The best thing about Craven getting into motorsports is they started broadcasting the races on TV.
Kind of catches
for the Busch Series. They never did up in New England in the 90s.
Well, to update you,
early 90s.
Craven, first of all, they changed right.
We would have to drive to this little picnic spot above the New Hampshire border
Titus has been on
just to hear it on the radio.
They lost radio communication. He started backing up, so they didn't know what was going on
in the beginning.
Now they think the car is coming back to them. As far as Mark Martin goes, the car is all right. Traffic has slowed him down a little bit.
To hear Joe's races, but once Ricky got involved,
every chance
he started
There's Craven
doing
trying to move in
the New England TV
Sterling Marlin in the 4 in 8th place.
broadcasts.
Fine job being done as the 63 Jim Bounds scoots a little high, and Craven is picking up some spots. I think that gives him 10th now.
He fell back.
Terry, Johnny, Elton Sawyer. That's a good run for Elton.
Was able to overcome it, and so far Ricky hadn't been able to.
Our NASCAR steward now, I believe.
Martin, he ain't never run that Ford wide open, so I don't know if that's true or not.
Back up in front. Labate is first in 14, then the 74. Benson is in second. Mark Martin has come back up to 4th. He's just behind the 23 of Chad Little here. And guess who's joined the party? Derek Cope, number 82, is in this game another time.
That car, Chad Little and Derek Cope have been in the hunt all day long. They've been factors, or they've been near the front all day long, and those two cars are running extremely well.
And Phil Parsons is just behind them in 6th.
I think Phil got into some of that traffic deal there where he got moved around a bit more than he wanted to, and he had to back up and kind of regroup.
The 23 car is 3rd.
tell you, Uncle Mike is just ahead of the leaders here, and he's just kind of walking off the lead.
Yeah, we're gonna
100
put the table up so I can stand more.
in the all-pro.
Not just sit on a stool, because this is tough. Oh, what a cool shirt she has. That's,
Martin fourth, Cope fifth, Bill Parsons sixth.
Jeff Burton's wife, I think.
What was that, 80? 85? Yeah. Eight car.
Darryl?
Is that the 8 car off?
Oh,
yeah, go ahead, please.
A lot of the guys are saying, if you look up, man, it's clouds everywhere. And some of these guys are tightening up big time. That's what's happening with Craven.
Yeah.
As far as the 60 car, I talked to Bobby Leslie and Steve, and that's all he's got. So they've come to him, and he's running just the same as he was when he unloaded for practice.
Yeah, see, Mark gets rattled. When people start racing him, he gets a little rattled, and he has to get, somebody has to tell him to get his act together, and he has to back up and think about it.
Uh-oh, somebody else blew up.
Watch your ears, we're going to change batteries, Stephanie.
When I say rattle, when you've been leading the race comfortably and all of a sudden people start racing you, it takes a little bit of time for you to figure out what you got to do to get back out front.
Yeah, that car's great when it's got his own line.
Yeah, he can only run low. He doesn't like to run high. He can only hook the bottom around the white line. .44 went another down. Terry's caught Mike.
Okay, that's what's going on.
Benson's getting through the corner better than Terry is, but Terry's motor is big time fast.
This is the part I usually skip over, but I like hearing the...
Changing battery, Steph.
Hearing the media, the broadcast team.
Be nice to...
Whoa. Oh, wow. I see why they stopped talking.
Look at this scramble. Second place at stake. Johnny Benson on the outside. Spokane, Washington. Chad Little on the bottom, just in front of them. Number 14 is...
Chad was wise to lift there a little. There's just nothing he can do. He's got lap cars in front of him.
He's coming around Little on the outside.
Well,
Dixon turns 1 and 2.
What the deal is there is if you get on that bottom and you don't make the pass,
oh God,
on the outside it just carried more speed through the corner. I think the is kind of giving up a little bit, and they're moving up the track a little bit to get some new asphalt. Mark hadn't run good on the outside at all. He's been right around the bottom all day long, but I see him trying to look around and find him a better place to run too.
Running just about 180, 85 miles an hour down into those corners, tight together.
Man, I got a feeling Chad's gonna bump him.
16 cars in the lead lap.
Just driving in just a little too deep.
36 laps to go.
It'd be nice to talk about what's going on in the back of the field, but folks, there ain't no back of the field. This is pretty much it.
Mark Martin the second. The number 60. The Winn-Dixie Ford. Slides to the outside, and here comes Derek Cope in number 82 on the bottom.
Oh, that's who that is, Derek. Derek's pretty experienced.
What a great race.
I thought it was Elton.
And folks, tomorrow, the stars of the Winston Cup. Darrell Waltrip going to give up the booth. Back in the cockpit, start 35th. Right behind him, Earnhardt will start 38th. And some youngsters up in front to give you the show of shows in the Mellow Yellow 500. Right here. Oh!
I was afraid of that.
Benson in the wall.
Yeah, that wasn't... It wasn't Chad Little's. It wasn't Chad's fault. That 74 car's been getting higher and higher and higher, and Chad ran him out of room, but I don't think...
Yeah, he did. I think they both kind of lost their nose.
Narrows up. Car number 74 had been running right up in second spot. Now begins to slide back.
If he just kissed it with the rear a little, it wouldn't be bad, but he scuffed it probably pretty good.
Derek Cope third, Chad Little fourth.
Oh yeah, white walls.
Sixth.
Benson will have to bring that car in the pit before long because he did a lot of damage to the right side, and there's no smoke, but that thing could blow a tire anytime.
And we should see at stop for fuel at any moment. Take on a couple of tires. So still, Terry Labonte.
He'll go a lap or two while the crew prepares for the stop.
1985. in a car that was owned by a guy named Waltrip, as we take a look at it.
Well, they would have been prepared for a stop.
Running Bill for the championship.
Lap 166. Well, that's when the rundown was given, but
Terry to drive it for me, and lo and behold, we didn't.
there's still 30 laps to go.
Try that trick again.
Yeah. I've been a fan of his ever since. That's a neat family. Bobby's a neat kid, and Terry.
26.
Of course, his dad works on the cars, and they're a neat bunch of people.
Wow.
Windows Chevrolet out there.
Well, 26 isn't terrible considering they only ran a half a race.
Owner driver to this car.
He lost an engine in practice there. I don't know, yesterday, I guess it was, or maybe it was.
They said in the beginning a lot blue engines.
He put a fresh one in, and it looks like it's really performing well.
Terry Labonte trying for his third Grand National win of the year. Mark Martin trying to take it away right there. That number 60. Gets a handle on the bottom of the racetrack and closes in for the lead and almost touched it.
That's a battle of tires. Mark's got a great handling car, and it's pretty easy on tires. And, you know, maybe some of these other guys will run their tires off a little bit more than Mark has.
On board with Mark Martin.
Terry, look at Terry. He saw what
Terry's car looks like it's smooth.
on the inside, and watch what he does to Mark. He says, "You like it down there?"
Mark's
nose up here and see how you like that.
Terry's got a really
scrub him off.
Good angle coming off that turn.
Terry's going to try to loosen him up by staying on the outside of it, but I don't know. Mark's got a pretty good run.
Saw a puff.
See that outside line really gets him to that center of that.
Could have been a brake puff.
Mark Martin, who qualified, turned an average speed lap at 176.6. Fighting as this is a couple of masters.
Mark cannot run that bottom line underneath somebody. It loosens him up too much, and what he's going to do is go around under Terry.
Bobby Daughter's car on the bottom. I don't. Is Bobby driving it?
He better be looking in that mirror as well as where he's going.
Martin right in behind Chad Little.
I think Bobby already wrecked out. Maybe they fixed it.
Benson back to 8.
Couldn't quite tell from here.
Marlin 9th, Craven 10th. So here's your leader, Terry Labonte, allowing that number 60 to use up the inside.
Yeah, he's giving up that inside. Mark will get back up there and try him again, and if Mark can ever get up enough steam to pass him, clearly getting into a turn, Mark can get in front of him, and he would drive off the leading, but he doesn't. His car's not right for getting alongside of somebody.
And again, there's the bunged up David Green, car number 44.
He's the point leader.
In trouble going down still another lap. Labonte.
He's trying to get all the laps he can.
This one.
And when he gets to a point where he can't get any more, like if he's down 10 laps, he'll pull out 10 to go. He won't gain no more at that point.
The car didn't improve. The 44 car, I don't think he's going to lose that many points, is he?
Well, let's see. Right now, Craven is 10th.
Yeah.
And he's back.
Yeah. So, see, Setzer's 10 laps down. He's only 4, so he's going to finish 20th. Craven doesn't. 10. That's what, 30 points?
Up, he got him. 60's under him.
Did he get under him?
Nah, he didn't make it.
No. He can get there, but I'm telling you, that outside line is working good, and Mark's car is not a happy camper down low underneath somebody. And Uncle Mike says, why in the world can there not be a caution?
Hey, Ken, just for you, all the guys in the top 10 in points, David Green, and then you go back, then Craven, Little, and Hermie Sadler, the only guys that have not had problems. Kenny Wallace hasn't done much. Then you got Setzer, Pearson, Dodder, Johnny Benson, and Leslie have all had problems today. Only 3 of the top 10 have not.
Randy's on the ball.
Those 3 are?
Those 3 are Craven, Little, and Sadler are the only clean guys today.
Randy was my buddy.
Just hadn't run well, but all the rest of them have had problems.
Michael's going to call.
In fact, when I started this book writing situation with my dad, I looked up Randy's
could be ugly
contact information and found out he had just passed away. I'm like, oh my God. It was like sudden too.
Uncle Mike says, I'm going to race you some here.
Because, I mean, Randy was in the pits always interviewing Dad. He and I'd go to coffee sometimes because we were both from Mooresville. We lived up by Lancaster's Barbecue.
Coming up shortly, the NASCAR Showcase. Some great stuff with Jeff Gordon. Coming up shortly, the finish of this.
All my friends have croaked.
178 of 200 down.
All like my really good friends.
Terry Labonte's Chevy is leading Mark Martin's Ford by just that much going into the back straightaway.
That's my my punishment for being healthier.
Alvin Sawyer in 6. Dick Berggren can.
I say healthier. I got like 42 diagnoses of all these different.
The question is, Ken, how can they make it to the end? Are they going to have to stop for a few
crazy
or not? And I talked to Chad Little's crew. They said, "Oh, no problem.
Mostly
all the way. We don't need
spine related."
Then they came down and I talked to Bob Labonte. He's crew chief for Terry Labonte, your leader. And I said, "How about it?" And he said, one
spine and brain and neuropathy.
Margin of error, and that is all. Randy Pemberton, what does it look like down you?
Well, I talked to Bobby Leslie, crew chief for Mark Martin. He waved it off, said no problem whatsoever. We're going all the way. Shouldn't be a problem.
Here's Martin back up under again. And he's got some steam that time, Darrell.
Yeah, he's got a nose out front now. If he can.
Nope.
Question,
wiggle.
Right back by him. And what's going to happen to Mark is if he doesn't make that pass, he's going to get a lot of company in the form of Chad Little and Derek Cope and Phil Parsons. So Mark is struggling.
What do you mean he's going to get company?
Dale Jarrett?
Here's 32 coming on. That's your 16th place car, Dale Jarrett and his Chevy.
Uh-oh, Mark tried the outside.
Oh, my God.
Let me try that outside one time. Maybe run that lap.
Chad Little back and forth looks him over, as does Phil Parsons. 5 cars in that front cluster.
Well, it's showtime, I'm telling you.
It's Phil Parsons? I thought he called him Derek Cope earlier.
Around. I think what's going to happen is...
Oh, Phil Parsons in the 29 is behind all of that.
Mark and Terry's going to get away from them, and they're going to have a 2-car race.
3rd place, Little down to the inside. He's trying to get his car.
I thought Little was just trying to draft him.
Okay, drafting anything here?
Oh, yeah, especially when there's 2 cars like Mark and Terry, and then these other 3 guys get side by side. They will drive off and leave them in a heartbeat.
So Chad Little trying to make his move, and Derek Cope doesn't want to give that spot up. But he needs to get back in single file if they want to try to overwhelm those 2.
If they were in single file, those 3 cars would catch the 2 cars in no time.
But you can't seem to make the pass.
Because 3 have 3 engines to 2 engines. Yeah, there you go. I think that's what he was trying to do.
Cars right there that are, all of them are.
But he was trying to not do it too drastically.
Terry's and Mark's and Derek's and Phil's and Chad's, they're real closely matched, but it's going to come down to just position, I think.
6 cautions for 31 laps, bring the average speed down to 126, and so Sammy Yard's Mark from 1983.
Now, if Mark starts the side-by-side stuff and not drafting off of
it's all here on the race.
Thierry, the other 3 will catch him in no time.
Chevy versus Ford at the end of this 300.
But the car that seems to be really under him is the 14.
Hoosier versus Goodyear. It's just a great day. And Hermie Sadler just got a stop and go for something. I'm not sure what.
Goodyear first, second, and third. And Hoosier back and forth. Let's get the story from Randy on Sadler.
He had a flat left front, came in, changed it too fast down pit road, but I just quickly want to make the point of the top 10 guys in points. Only Ricky Craven and Chad Little have not suffered problems today. David Green, Kenny Wallace, Dennis Setzer, Larry Pearson, Bobby Dotter, Johnny Benson, and Tracy Leslie have all had... Kenny Wallace is still moving around out there.
Dale Jarrett's gone behind the wall. As he retires, he becomes number 19 out of the race. Take a look at the running order here, Darrell.
Derek Cope has pulled himself back up in the hunt. They got single file, and he got away from Phil and Chad back there, and he's pulled himself back in the hunt.
14 to go. Front 3, and then an
26, even though there was so many blown motors and wrecks earlier.
Derek Cope runs in 3rd. Parsons in 4th.
183 at 200.
Just a little further back.
Cope is closing big time. He's running a little higher line down here in 22, and that's really paying off.
And still another lap on poor David Green. but Green is running at a pace.
How many laps down?
19th. Meanwhile, Craven is up to 9th with the latest retirement.
Patrician right now is David Green's best friend. Cars that fall out right now are moving him up.
Well, here you see car number 20, Hans Hensley, running 11th. Last guy's in the lead lap. Benson is there. And you see
Hensley in the
green car, number 76.
Randy's not in that anymore.
You know what that 20 and 74 have in common, don't you? They both knocked the fire out of the wall off of turn 4. And they
But I do believe Randy will take the FINA sponsorship to Base Motorsports the following year.
Just behind those leaders.
Which is where the 74 is stabled out of, I believe.
Uncle Michael.
At that time.
And David both are excellent race car drivers. They're from Owensboro, Kentucky. We got us a little Owensboro.
No, I take that back. FINA stayed with Moroso. And
Fields driver right now. Can't call his name. Jeremy Mayfield. He's from Owensboro.
Randy will go over to Base. Maybe the Staff America.
See those local heroes get that. You know, we feel the same way.
I know he took FINA over there.
Yeah. Joe Best.
Yeah, he did. But that was like later.
The road. Now they're down here.
I want to say 98.
Joy. Made it mention
Because FINA will stay with Moroso for 95 at least.
And Jimmy Hensley is taking over. He took an awful up here, as did Kevin LePage. LePage.
And it will be driven by several drivers.
The teddy bear. And he was on his second car. He used up a car out here on that day when
Bobby Hillen, Joe Bessie, Dennis Setzer.
We're in the last 10 laps of this
Jimmy Spencer.
Race,
and for that year, actually, my husband at the time would be the transporter driver for Moroso in 95. So I'll go to several more races in 95. We lived in Florida.
Don't forget, the NASCAR Showcase
for 10 months.
Right after the broadcast today.
He lived there for 9 months because a month before, for race season, he went north and stayed at my parents so he could drive the transporter for the teams my dad was working with.
Up in there, Virginia has so many great.
And after my dad leaves Moroso,
Mr. Village car and Ward Burton with a new track record. Almost 106 miles.
My ex-husband will stay
That's right.
for the rest of the year, and then he'll go on to Lakes. Lake Speed's team.
Monte Carlo next year.
You do that Virginia thing really well.
So we're starting to get into the time frame where I was in North Carolina, and I was attending quite a few races a year. At least the second half of the season, I attended
one more stat.
Just about all of them.
The fire. 192 complete.
From 96 to 97.
Yeah, Mark keeps trying to get.
Any within driving distance in 96, I would go to.
I think if Mark gets to racing Terry here, we're going to have Derek Cope all over the back of both of them. So this could be an interesting last lap or two if Terry and Mark get to racing each other. I can see 3 wide down the back on the last lap.
20-car interval. More than that now. It's really developed back to Chad Little.
Derek Cope ran really well this race.
Falling off the pace. It's a 3-car shootout right now.
I saw him taking some chances that I thought were a little sketchy.
That carries a lot of speed onto the straightaway. Mark's got a quicker line down low, but Terry's carrying more.
It's okay to drive a different line to see where your car is going to stick best and to give it a shot.
Well, it's
at 6 laps to go, and then make your move maybe at 1 or 2 to go.
Terry gets him about 4 or 5 car lengths. He's just got a little.
However many laps you feel like it'll take to make the pass.
It's the entrance at 3 and the entrance into turn 1.
Oh, it's totally. You see where Mark is? Right down on the white.
Excuse me.
And
I've had a busy day already.
You go in. It's always been a little bit of a bump there where you go into that turn, and it's upset.
When I get off of here,
5 to go. This is gonna be a good one, folks.
maybe it'll be cool enough to eat.
Lay it down. Let's call.
If it rains, we can turn off the AC for a minute and use
Man.
the ovens.
Coming up, Darrell Waltrip, and his happy hour is
RV life.
a little different from most people's happy hour.
In fact, I need to look and see the breaker.
The track will be totally different.
Might be getting a little bit more on the AC unit, so we'll replace that out soon.
I think Phil's off the pace.
Yeah,
Breakers have a bimetal strip and they get weak.
and taken over in 4th. Phil backing up a bit here. Don't want to go away from this one, folks, as Terry Labonte strives to take another Grand National victory. Mark Martin staying right with him as we get.
Pretty much we're okay. Everything runs okay. My son's sim. My stuff's on a different line than my son's sim, but my stuff's on the same line as the
It's got to be in turns 3 and 4.
AC unit.
Look at Phil Parsons in trouble.
In that right side wall.
4 laps ago. That's sad.
See,
I run hard all day, use up your...
when I used to use the Keurig, maybe the Keurig had a problem. It leaked anyway. It kept blowing the circuit breaker. Oh!
In trouble. And
he lost the tire. It just blew.
Pearson's car caught up. This is going to end this race at 197.
Oh my God! Oh yeah, back then they did not do green white checker. They raced to the caution, and they didn't have a lucky dog yet. Oh my God!
Miss with Parsons. It came up. It
just shot. There's nothing you can do, and you feel like a piece of crap when that happens.
Pro bumper to bumper.
But there's nothing you can do. Something broke.
Oh, that's too bad.
Phil was back in.
With all, they said the car has so much grip.
You see the flying up over the front fender over there.
The sparks were flying.
Caught that 92 car in the process.
Well, and after all you had just said about trying so hard, running so well.
I mean, here we are,
and the
folks.
frustration, and again, it's the frustration for Phil Parsons.
Oh my God. You know, and it's awful because he's a good driver, you know.
That's a decent payday for a guy like that. He's an independent guy. That's his car. He and his wife own that together. And that's a hard.
It's always that way, isn't it now?
Just followed the fifth bound.
The little teams get caught up in other people's malarkey.
Flag is about to be thrown out. Here's
not that he could have done anything about it.
The news is he's okay.
But
and the bad news is that car, at least the front clip is gone, and it can be more. And Larry Pearson looks to be all right. There's the white.
Feels more concerned about
shouting this afternoon.
Larry Pearson, to be honest, and that's good. White flag.
Win of the season and stop the domination.
Like I said, I'm glad that I got to show everyone this little bit of Charlotte in '94. This is a really I have not seen.
I got to race all those guys.
And when
copy this clear from this era. That's really a good copy.
At 1 o'clock.
But it is the satellite uplink, so.
Is it going to be the savvy guys, or are these youngsters going to?
I believe it's NC Mark that has the video.
Well, of course, tomorrow's
Michael McIntyre.
100. It's not a 300-mile race, and I think attrition is going to be a factor tomorrow. I think if it stays overcast, this is a much different racetrack, as we said in the opening, than it is if the sun's out. So you get up in the morning, you peek out the curtain and hope the sun.
It is really hazy, because I was looking to see, usually from the blimp you can see the mountains in the background.
A lot of you are going to find your...
And I could see where the mountains were. They're the Salatin.
The oil out of that new asphalt.
With SAU.
That's what folks wonder. I mean, how can...
ER, Salatin or something like that. Mountains.
Tomorrow and
up toward...
Hug that pillow and have
up toward...
The thrill of it.
I want to say Harmony,
being here,
north of Harmony, up toward...
makes everything worthwhile.
Mount Airy.
Coming down to...
Like where Andy Griffith is from, like the series was based out of.
I'm sure I could have worked that out.
Well,
way of living.
I'll tell you this, but Cale Yarborough has volunteered his services tomorrow.
You'll never...
A lot of vineyards up there and a lot of
the All-Pro
flea markets, antique stores, big time.
And we'll be back to meet the champion of this race. What a great job by Terry Labonte. Chat with you short.
Thierry Labonte.
Can I get a little coffee, please? Thank you.
Yeah, right back here is Alan Kowicki's shop, right below that tower. It's behind there. And then they're looking to the east toward the ocean. And then as they pan across.
Thank you. Here.
When it starts getting bumpy back here, you start seeing the Sarton Mountains of Harmony, Mount Airy, kind of getting into the Pinnacle Mountain and all that. And then as you go along here, it's like Fox Mountain starting to get into the Blue Ridge. Beyond that, those are the Brushy Mountains, actually, right there.
Okay.
The Brushy Mountains.
I just feel, I don't feel good about leaving Ken here alone by himself. I'm going to stay right to the end.
Get your hand off my knee.
Oh, excuse me.
I guess we were supposed to hear that, huh? There's Terry. Vroom, vroom, vroom. That's the happy noise. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Oh, Bobby Labonte's team's there in the denting clothes. And then the MW windows.
Okay.
See, you don't usually see all this part.
Yeah. Okay, great.
That was when you usually get the live shots.
A lesson in how to drive a race car, as given today by Terry Labonte. Beautifully done. Here he is in victory lane, and here are the top 5 from our All-Pro Bumper to Bumper 300. Mark Martin, an outstanding performance in second. Derek Hope coming home third. Chad Little picks up in the points. He's fourth. Elton Sawyer, Jim Bound with a 6th place finish. Now let's go to the Purelator winner's circle.
Terry Labonte is still in his race car. You want to come out? You want to stay there? He's coming out. He wants to come out. It's hot in there. Going to wave at the crowd, wave at the photographers.
I kind of like the car. It doesn't matter. I just stayed there.
He likes the car. Toward the end of the race, it seemed as if everybody was taking a shot at you, Terry. How'd you keep all those guys back there?
Well, MW Windows Chevy just ran great. It really handled good. That's where the difference was. My dad and all the guys did a great job on the chassis. And Mark's car was a little bit loose. He'd get up under me, and I'd just stay real close to him, and I didn't want to let him get ahead because I think he'd have beat me then. So I just stayed right there and made his car a little bit looser, and I was able to hold him off.
So much talk about running wide open. How close to wide open did you have to run to win this?
Pretty close. I guarantee you the last 30 laps I never got completely out of the throttle, you know. It was pretty much wide open all the way, and the car just handled great. It's been a great season for us. You know, we're glad to win another Busch race, and hey, I tell you, we're looking forward to tomorrow.
It's been a long time. Not since 1985 have you won one of these races here at Charlotte. How is it different?
I don't know. It's got new pavement.
Still a happy victory lane?
Yeah, it's great. You know, we've had a great year, and all the guys in the crew have done a great job. And can't say enough for our sponsor, MW Windows. They've been behind us for 2 years now, and you know, we had some great runs last year, and really just picked it up a little bit this season. I think we're a little bit more prepared, and you know, came out of the box running good.
All those crashes, were you close to any of that stuff?
Just one of them when the 2 guys crashed down there. That was pretty close.
Terry Labonte in victory lane for the 3rd time in 1994. Rick Benjamin, to you.
Well, we want to add to Terry Labonte's victory laurels today. The Advanced Auto Parts Pits Done Quickly Award will go to Terry Labonte's MW Windows team, led by Terry's dad, Bob Labonte. They did excellent pit work today to keep Terry in contention.
They lost Bob this year. That stinks.
Win today. Advanced Auto Parts makes a donation to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America in the name of the MW Windows race.
All our heroes.
Sports from all of us here. We appreciate the Labonte crew's fine efforts today. Great victory and great pit work today.
The curse of the long life. Well, having to outlive all these guys.
We're going to try and catch up with Elton Sawyer. He's hanging here. He had a heck of a run today. Elton Sawyer, what about it? Nice job today. Great run. We're trying to, a lot of carnage down here. We got him now. Elton, great run.
Well, thank you, Randy. You know, my hat's off to Bob Sutton, Brad Atkins, the whole Ford Credit Rick Harper Lee's team. You know, we didn't qualify as well as we were hoping, but they worked on this race car all day, and I made a bad call there at the end. I told him to loosen it up a little bit more, and I got it too loose. But I tell you, Humpy's done a great job here. Nice surface, nice and smooth. It's awful fast, though. But we're looking forward to coming back, and my hat's off to Terry. Great job.
And speaking of fast, these Winston Cup guys are fast, too. They're already in their cars getting ready to practice for tomorrow. Ken Squire?
And we've got one Winston Cup guy hopping on one foot and then on the other. The greatest driver in this race in the history of it. You won it 4 times, DW. I'm sure you would like to have been out there today, but well, tomorrow's another day.
You know, Ken, as my career goes along here, it's fun to be up here with you. It really is. It's fun to sit up here and watch a race. I go through all the emotions I do when I drive. I know what it feels like to be leading with somebody like Mark Martin all over the back of your car.
Beat on the steering wheel like you beat on Ford.
Same old thing. But it's exciting to be up here and watch a race and to know that I could have been out there if I wanted to be. So I made the choice to be up here, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. This was a wonderful race. It went exactly kind of like I thought it would, and
I'm glad I was here.
All right. Well,
Look forward to next time.
And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow in the Mellow Yellow 500 when you crank up that Western Auto car. There's the points, folks. It's 56 now with 2 races left. Off to Martinsville, Virginia, Rockingham, North Carolina to complete their season. Final 2 races. Our thanks to DW, Darrell Waldrop, who's
got the Cup cars going out there. Did you see it?
For the Winston Cup cars, preparing for tomorrow's running of the Mellow Yellow 500. And you'll see it here on TBS. Hope you'll be with us to enjoy it all.
I'll watch that someday. If it's good and clear like this, is cool. Just to, oh wow, all kinds of pop-ups. What the heck? I did something wrong. Anyway, here we go. Oh, that was me at Talladega with Lori. This is the live shot of the beach, Dunlawton. That is where they used to race. A little south of this, but just a little south. The North Turn restaurant is a few blocks down the road. To the south behind us as we look at this. But yeah, it's balmy. I live about 25 miles north where it's real hazy. Remember I said it looked like we're going to have some rain, and it is actually going to happen. It's low tide right now. The beach is so smooth. They don't have any cars on there because they might be having thunder or something. They kick everyone off. But yeah, I will anyway, I will be on again later this week. And as far as everybody who comes in and lurks and watches and follows and stuff, I appreciate y'all so much. And I also wanted to say, just hit put on the notification, because I'm not real good at sharing stuff out. I have Discord and this and that, but I have no clue how to use it. So I don't sweat it. If you watch in VOD, that is very cool too. I appreciate it. And I am going to get me some dinner. I hope you have a good evening, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.